Good evening, everyone. Tonight is Wednesday, May 20th. I call to order the sixth session of the 2026 Annual and Special Town Meeting for the Town of Stoughton. This meeting is now in session. This town meeting is being held in person at the Stoughton High School Auditorium at 232 Pearl Street in Stoughton. This meeting is also being broadcast live through the Stoughton Media Access Corporation and is being recorded for future broadcasting. Please rise and stand if you are able and join me in pledging allegiance to our flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all. Please be seated. All right, please, at this time, everyone silence their phones, if you could. Back on Monday, May 4th, I did introduce all our town officials. And again, we have Brian Winner from the law firm of Mead, Telemann and Acosta here this evening. And we need to ascertain the quorum this evening. All right, so I'm going to call the precinct chairs, and I ask you to give me the count of the people present in your precinct this evening. Juan Fox, precinct 1. I'm sorry, Kendall. Thank you, Kendall. George Delinsky, precinct 2. 15, thank you. Matt Callis, precinct 3. 11, precinct 3. Julie Gito, precinct 4. 17, precinct 4. Carmel, precinct 5. 11, thank you. Bob Kirby, precinct 6. 14, precinct 6. Diane Dolan, precinct 7. 11. And Susan Rappaport, precinct 8. 11, thank you. Stand by for the tally. 103. All right, this evening we have 103 town meeting reps present. Our quorum stands at 85, so we have enough people present to conduct business this evening. All right, as we usually do, we need to first test our clickers. Let me know we're ready. Please press 1 for yes, 2 for no, or 3 for abstain. It's your choice, whatever you want to press to this evening. $99, okay. Anybody have any problems with their clicker this evening? If you do, you have to come down. Is that what we say at the end? Last order of business. All right, we're all set with everybody's clickers? All right, just a quick recap. We did dissolve the annual town meeting last Monday. We got into the special town meeting. And also, when we put Article 7 at the end of this special town meeting, which is the last order of business, and we finished all the way up through special town meeting Article 13. And also, we had a procedural motion Monday evening on May 16th to take up special town meeting Article 15, Police Department Capital, and special town meeting Article 21, Police Station Feasibility Study with additional options and sites as the first order of business this evening. All right, so everybody should be up to speed on that. And Article 15 appears in the book on page 56, right at the top. All right, and this evening, I'm going to ask for the motion from Steve Cavey.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. I move that the town vote to appropriate and fund to design, permit, install, and construct and purchase capital improvement projects and items associated with the police department capital items, all set forth in the chart below, and I will read them. 3 marked cruisers for $265,000 from free cash, funded by free cash. First responder drone and software, $110,000, funded by free cash. Flock safety software, $60,000, apologies, funded by free cash. And item 4, taser replacements, 10 units, $30,000, funded by free cash.
Okay, thank you very much. Can I get a motion? Yep. Well, we're going to get a motion to divide the question. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. We had a second over here from Carolyn Campbell. Can I get the Finance Committee report, please?
The Finance Committee voted 10 to 2 to 1 to recommend approval of this article to town meeting.
Okay, thank you. And at this point, can I have Municipal Operations Committee report?
Municipal Operations chose to vote these items separately. Item 1, cruisers, 3 marked, voted 6 to 0 to approve and recommend to special town meeting Article 15, Item 1, as written in the warrant. Item 2, first responder drone and software, voted 5 to 1 to 0 to approve and recommend to special town meeting Article 15, Item 2, as written in the warrant. Item 3, Flock Safety Software, voted 2 to 4 to 0 to approve and recommend to special town meeting Article 15, Item 3, as written in the warrant. The motion failed. The committee expressed genuine concern about privacy on Article 15, Item 3. Item 4, taser replacements, 10 units, voted 6 to 0 to approve and recommend to special town meeting Article 15, Item 4, as written in the warrant.
Thank you very much, Cynthia. So as we have done in the past town meetings, we usually vote these separately. So I'm going to ask for a motion to divide the question. Scott Carrara?
Mr. Moderator, I make a motion that we take each of these items separately and vote them that way.
Okay, seconded by Carolyn Campbell. By voice vote, to divide these separately and vote them individually by item number. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed? I hear just one no, okay. Any abstentions? Hearing none, I declare that a vote. The ayes have it. So first up, item 1, 3 marked cruisers. Can I have the presentation, Chief?
Good evening, Chief McNamara from the Police Department. Annually, we come before this body and request funds to purchase cruisers every year. We have a policy that was created by the Select Board, and we abide by that policy. I think all your documents have been supplied in the book. If you have any questions, it's 3 cruisers. The quote is for an Interceptor, which is a Ford. We have purchased Tahoes in the past. Those have been priced out recently, so we're going after Ford Interceptors for the 3 cruisers for replacement. We will trade in the cruisers. We order the cruisers in October. We usually take delivery of them right around this time of year. There's a purpose behind that. Better weather, less accidents, usually. So when we get the new cruisers, that's the reason for that. That is what we'll continue to do. It's been a best practice over the last 11 years that I've been in front of this body presenting to you. So if you have any questions, that's all I have for a presentation on the 3 cruisers.
Thank you very much, Chief. This is a time for technical questions. Anybody for technical questions? Please rise to the microphones if you do have one. Do you have one? Noah?
Noah Beethoven, Precinct 6. No, I am waiting my turn for the amendment that I proposed. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right. Anybody else with technical questions? John Enzavino?
John Enzavino, Precinct 4. Through you, Mr. Moderator. Chief, how many cruisers do we have operating now?
Marked cruisers, sir?
Yes, my cruisers.
20.
20. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Anybody else for technical questions? Mr. Murphy?
Peter Murphy, Precinct 2. Through you, Mr. Moderator, to the Chief of Police. Do you think that you could possibly get 4 years out of a cruiser as opposed to 3?
We try. So that's a tough question, to be honest. Sometimes we get vehicles that just don't work out. We're dealing with some Tahoes right now that are burning through oil. So if they come up that when we come time a year from now to trade them in, we might trade them in because they're running worse. We do have a 5-year-old Explorer that has been running really well for us that's going to get traded in right now. And that's really it's a game time decision when we're trading the cars in.
So to clarify on the question, you don't have to trade a cruiser in after 3 years. You just purchase new cruisers every 3 years.
That's correct. But we try to get rid of the worst vehicles that are costing us the most to repair. So if sometimes that's a 3 years and it's got the mileage on it and it's got the hours on it because it sits and runs, because it's not just the miles on the wheels, it's the engine and the hours on the engine. So when we replace it, we really look at whether it's costing us more to keep that vehicle running versus getting rid of it.
Thank you for the clarification.
Thank you both for those comments. Anybody else with technical questions? Seeing none, let's go in pro and con debate. Anybody for pro and con debate on item 1? Seeing none, let me just clarify. This is an outright purchase? Okay, this is this simple majority. Are we ready to vote? Yes, please vote now. 1, 2, or 3. All right, as you can see on the screen, item 1 passes. 93 yes, 14 no, 0 abstentions. Thank you all for voting. All right, let's go on to item number 2, first responder drone and software. Chief?
Okay, thank you. Through you, Mr. Moderator. The drone program that we are looking to establish in the police department is due to the usage that we've needed by asking other departments to come over into our town and help us out with searches, whether that's a missing person. We've had significant, extensive searches for runaways and missing persons over the last number of years. We've utilized a drone from another agency, when they're available for searching for someone. We did it last year when we were in town meeting. At the end of town meeting, we were looking for a juvenile who wanted to hurt himself. We utilized a drone to help follow him. He was running and hiding, and we tried to find the locations of where he was hiding with the assistance of a drone from another agency. We've used outside agencies' drones to come over and assist us when we have big events such as the July 1st this year. Fireworks, it's a very, very big crowd that comes, and we utilize that to monitor the crowd to see if we're having any medical issues or any security issues. If anyone's getting too close to the area that's cordoned off for the fire department, that's a danger. And so we're looking to start a program, and this program would fund it for 3 years with the drone.
Okay, thank you very much, Chief. Time for technical questions on item 2. Okay, who was up there first? John Anzavino, I believe?
John
no.
Anzavino, Precinct 4.
Yeah.
Oh,
No, I'm sorry, you...
no, you were up.
Yeah, no, you were here for item 2? Okay.
Yeah, I'm also
Go
here
ahead.
for item 2. I have a question. Sorry, Noah Betajon, Precinct 6. I have a question that somebody asked me, I think just today, and I didn't have an answer for them, which is that apparently the company Flock also owns a first responder drone manufacturing and selling business. And so the question is, would you be getting a first responder drone from a subsidiary of Flock Safety?
No.
Thank you.
Okay. John Anzavino, go ahead, sir.
John Angelino, Precinct 4. I noticed this was for the drone and software. How often does that software have to get updated, and what's the cost of that?
So as I said through you, Mr. Moderator, this is for 3 years in the software that they have. And with technology, software is always changing. So I can assume that we'll be in front of you for additional funds down the road. But this is for 3 years, and it's the company that you should have in the book is Axon, is the company that we're looking at for the drone.
All right, thank you, Chief.
All right, thank you very much. Next up is Eric Coleman.
Eric Coleman, Precinct 5. Does the fire department have any drones? And if they do, are you sharing them with the new ones with them? How does that work?
I believe the fire department has a drone. Yes,
You believe they do have drones?
I do. But
Can-
what we search for and what they search for are two different things. And we would be looking to keep our drones in order to, whatever we utilize it for, it's a part of evidence. So we wouldn't use their drones. They use their drones and they've assisted us, and other police agencies have also assisted us. So it really depends on what kind of call we're deploying the drone for.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you both. Next up, Don Dino.
Hi, Don Dino, Precinct 4. I was wondering, will there be training and a cost to training on the drone and the software? Thank you.
So we already have 2 drone pilots. One is certified, one's in the process of being certified. They've already been sent to the training. I've paid for that through my training line item in my budget. And additional training we will put as part of our annual in-service for the police department.
Okay, thank you very much. Could you identify yourself, please?
Ann Fisk, Precinct 3. What is the cost to the town when we borrow a drone, say, from a different community?
So if it's available, it's mutual aid. So we're part of a mutual aid agreement with a multi-regional area, but it's not always available. So that's the main issues. More police departments are deploying these for more often, for more calls. So the significance, for example, the fireworks that's coming up, I've already had to put in months ago the request to the regional agency for the drones for that night. So, okay.
Okay, thank you both. Next up is Rachel Lazarus.
Hi, Rachel Lazarus, Precinct 4. I had a question that's really a follow-up to John Anzavino's question. Is there any way to stop Flock from remotely updating the software or changing its terms of service once we've already signed?
No.
Or whatever, sorry. Yeah. I'm sorry, my daughter had a talent show.
Can you repeat your question? I'm going to ask you to say it one more time. This is not the Flock software.
Okay, I'm sorry.
This is just drones.
Okay. Do we have control over remote updating, essentially, or change of terms of service?
So you want to know if we can prevent Axon from updating the software on the
Doing
drones?
a remote update or changing the terms of service on us?
No, it's part of we will sign a contract with them for 3 years.
Okay.
You okay?
Does that contract have a line about, like, we will not change the terms of service? Because a lot of companies have been doing so.
That I can't answer for you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Carolyn Campbell.
Hi, Carolyn Campbell, Precinct 4. Through you, I want to follow up on a question from a previous speaker. You mentioned that the $60,000 includes 3 years of all software and licenses and everything else. So, whatever, I'm sorry, the purchase amount includes all the costs for 3 years?
So we're on the drones, which is not the 60,000.
Yeah, okay. Well, the drone software, it's all included for the 3, that's what I'm clarifying. So there'll be no budget increases for the next 3 years?
That is correct.
And then how much does it cost per year after that?
I don't have that.
Thank you.
Because that would be an estimate when we go after that as it's expiring.
All right, thank you.
Okay, Paul Bellevue.
Paul Bellevue, Precinct 3. Could I have a little bit of specifications about the drone? specifically like size, where it's going to be kept, what kind of weather conditions, its ability to fly in, et cetera?
So where it's going to be kept is the police department and deployed by only the pilots that are trained. And the specifics of the drone is in the book under the contract on the specifications that we gave. If you want me to look it up, I can read it to you, but it's in the book.
Okay. Thank you very much. Vaughn Anokian?
Vaughn Anokian, Precinct 4. Could you please tell me, whoever can answer this, what page the backup material is on for this? Thank you.
Anybody have an answer for the gentleman? Looking up, thank you. Was that page 59? Okay, thank you. Tony, go ahead. Introduce yourself, please.
Antonio Souza, Precinct 4. My question is to you, to the chief. Is one drone or is it more than one? I didn't read the material, to be honest.
It is one drone.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you both. Anybody else with technical questions? Seeing none, let's go in pro and con debate on item 2. Cynthia Walsh?
Cynthia Walsh, Precinct 3. In Stoughton, we have a significant number of children on the autism spectrum, and sadly, a number of seniors who suffer from dementia. These folks sometimes wander, and the sad truth is they frequently head for water, and God knows in Stoughton we have plenty of ponds and streams and lakes, and they drown. If we can just save one of these people, this is a heavily wooded community. We need a way to see through the leaves to get these folks before they get to Ames Pond or Farrington Pond or wherever they're walking to. It's a sad truth, but it's a real truth, and we can't afford to lose either the young people or the older folks.
Thank you very much for your comment. Next up, Matt Callis.
Matthew Callis, Precinct 3. I just can't get my head over 41 layoffs in the school department. And I know this isn't a one-to-one vote, that we get rid of the money here, it goes to the school department. I'm speaking against. So my feeling is we need to tighten our belt somewhere. This is a place that our belt can be tightened, and I won't get up and say this comment again, but I kind of feel the same on item 3 and 4. Thank you.
We're pro and con. Yep. All right, thank you for your comment. Okay, pro and con debate, we're still going on that. Bob Cohn?
Bob Cohn, Precinct 5. Recently, we had a Holocaust at the Avatora Temple. 9 surrounding towns came. The police department were wonderful. We had, what town? It was one of the towns that had drones. We had drones, we had threats against us. It was serious business. And when you have 350 people coming in and someone comes in with a gun and shoots, how many do you think are going to get hurt? It's a great idea. I don't understand why. It's safety of this town. And as far as the schools are cutting back, this has nothing to do with it. It's the safety of our town. Please vote for this.
Okay, thank you for your comments. All right. Anybody else for pro and con debate? Noah?
Yes, Noah Beta Aron, Precinct 6. I was the lone vote against this at Municipal Operations. I just wanted to say that while I absolutely understand the concerns and why we would want one of these for ourselves, I think that we have to consider that we have successfully found anybody we were looking for using a borrowed drone that we did not have to pay for, that we are getting through mutual aid, and that I also kind of like Lou Gito's idea that we should cut back on some of these expenses in police capital and try to save up for the new police station out of money that would otherwise have gone to the same department's capital expenditures. I think that would be a good idea, and I will be voting no. And it's fine if you want to vote yes, but these are my reasons. I don't think it's necessary. I think it's a lot of money to be spending on just having something that we've so far been able to borrow. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for your comments. Anybody else pro and con debate? Okay, I don't see anybody coming forth to the microphones. All right, it's going to be, Chief, did you want to do a quick summary, or you're good?
So I would like a quick summary. So I can appreciate the previous speaker. You know, I've come before this body for a number of years, and I've actually thought a great deal about how much we put in every year for capital, and I only come to this body for the needs that we need for our department. I didn't come with a $500,000 taser quote that I got to replace tasers, because I didn't think that that was something we could afford to do as a community, to replace all our tasers. This is a product that will bring safety to our town for the reasons that I've explained, and it is a need. And when we need it, we need to have it. We may not have it if we borrow it when there's other communities that are also utilizing drones for the same things. This is a new and up-and-coming thing for drones to be used as a first responder and going out on calls from the time the call comes in. We are trying to get in front of this, to use this technology to keep our community safe.
Okay, thank you. Again, this is a simple majority. I think it's time to vote. We ready? Okay, please vote 1, 2, or 3. All right, as you can see on the screen, item 2 passes, 90 yes, 25 no, 0 abstentions. Thank you all for voting. Item 3, flock safety software. Chief?
So I'm going to turn this presentation over to Deputy Chief O'Connor, who's done the majority of the legwork and answered most of the questions in conjunction with me for this item. I know it is something that we've had a lot of questions for, and I appreciate everyone that has asked those questions from our community. We are not afraid of any of the questions that have been presented to us, and that's why we have tried to be as transparent as possible to share that. So Deputy Chief will do the majority of, and I will be here for any questions as well.
Thank you, Chief. Good evening, Deputy Chief Jim O'Connor. Through you, Mr. Moderator. So the flock safety program is a 3-year contract. It is a tool in our tool belt to help this town and help us solve crime. It is part of gathering evidence. It is a system that is not a video system. It is not mobile, and it takes an image of the back of a vehicle at a point in time as it passes the camera. It is only detecting license plates in vehicles. Okay, information derived from the license plate is only accessible to law enforcement and is only a lead. Further investigation is always going to be needed. What's not detected? It's not facial recognition. It's not video. It doesn't detect people. Doesn't detect gender, race. It's not a traffic camera designed to find and issue traffic violations and issue citations as a result. It is for our purpose only. The data is owned by us. It is not sold to third parties. All right? We cannot use it for immigration purposes. It is prohibited by mass law. It can't be used for harassment or intimidation. It can't be used for any type of reproductive type of enforcement by other agencies. The usage is based solely on investigative leads. To access the system, as a Stoughton police officer, they are the only ones that can access our system. In order to do that, they have to have a username and password. They have to go through a minimum of 2 hours of training, a minimum of 3 separate classes. They have to have a valid reason through the National Incident Based Response, which is the reporting system that the FBI uses that we submit our crime stats to. So you have to have one of those reasons, and you have to be able to put in a call number or a case number that is associated with. That data is stored indefinitely. Who logged on, when it was logged on, what they ran, what they did while they were in the system. The hot list, which is like, hey, this person's wanted, they're driving this car, we can enter it, and if it comes through our flock camera, it will alert us. Even before we take action, it has to be verified. It just can't be that car hit on the flock camera, we have to stop it. You have to verify that it's accurate and it grabbed the right plate and it's the car that you're looking for before you take action. Any plates that are scanned are only held for 30 days and then drop off and away from the system. The only time anything gets saved is if we need it for an evidentiary reason and we download it and save it. So what it also does as part of the hot list is it connects with the database that we use that has access to stolen vehicles, stolen license plates, missing people. It alerts us for those types of things if there's a vehicle attached to that. The system also has safeguards in it that allows us to do audits of the network and the organization and what is being done in it. I will be doing these audits on a monthly basis unless for some reason something comes up and I got to do it more frequently. Flock has newly just issued a new tool within the audit system to help look for different patterns that could raise concerns. Basically searching the same plate for more than 30 times, more than 30-day period, searching entirely outside of our cameras, searching for the same plate with multiple different case numbers. It's not saying anyone's doing anything wrong, but those are things that need to be looked into. Flock doesn't sell the data. We own and collect the data. It is the only data they get is our data when we log in. They have my name, my email address, my phone number. In terms of customer data or plate data, they don't have access to that information. We have to then take any plate that's scanned that we're interested in as a lead to an investigation and go into a completely different law enforcement database and run it to get the other information of who owns the vehicle. And then we can go from there. Flock has documented what their security protocol is. They encode everything at rest. Encrypt is the word. Encrypt everything at rest, encrypt everything in transit, and it's all kept encrypted until we decide to pull it what we need. They don't track everyone everywhere. It's on a public roadway. They take a point-in-time image. Let's see. There's no, like I said before, there's no biographical data available to Flock. It's only a picture of a plate in the rear of a car. Don't use facial recognition. We don't share with ICE. We're prohibited to by policy and by mass law, we can decide who we share with or not share with. If there's any issues, we can revoke any sharing rights that we provide. So I can't give you an exact number how it will affect crime, but I can tell you it's going to help us solve crime, more crime, and most likely quicker. There's was some talk about Flock being hacked. There's a YouTuber out there that claims he hacked Flock. It's not really accurate. He somehow got a hold of an old camera that was never assigned to the system and never had security updates and got in. And even if you did get into that camera, it doesn't access anything other than that camera. And because it never had the security updates, obviously it was diminished in its security capabilities. There have been some articles put out there. And one of the articles, like article number 1 on the form that was put out, of some police have used the license plate readers to romantically stalk romantic interest. Horrible, shouldn't happen. That's why we have safeguards in place via policy, all right? We talked about the training, we talked about the access, we talked about the passwords, we talked about the review of the policy, individual unique passwords, policy that only allows for legitimate law enforcement use related to enforcement operations and public safety purposes. Everything is logged and documented, monthly audits, the new technology, and if anyone's found violating any of this, discipline for any abuse or misuse of the system will occur as designated in our policy. ICE, again, that's a giant concern, and we understand that concern. We do not share with them. One of the articles talks about it. That was departments that actually shared with ICE. Massachusetts is not allowed to share with ICE. And we have it so we don't share with any federal law enforcement agency. There was some concerns about public records. That article was relevant in the state of Washington. And as far as my research shows, this would not be a public record in Massachusetts. There was also talk of a private security camera in a children's gymnastics going live and being viewed. We don't have that system. We do not have security cameras. We are using a license plate reader. There are no videos. There is no live viewing. Everything is done after the fact.
Excuse me, Deputy Chief, you got about 30 seconds left, okay?
Okay. The other concern was using Amazon, all right? Amazon has almost 1.5 million business customers, including Netflix, ESPN, Johnson & Johnson, General Electric, NASA, U.S. Department of Defense, U.S. Army, Department of Justice, Verizon, all these companies that are gigantic have so much data, they would not be using Amazon if it had bad security. In closing, for me, this is another tool in the tool belt for the police department to help you. It is not a mass surveillance system. The data gets held and gets deleted. It is going to help solve our crime quicker and faster and easier with this software that will give us leads for our patrol and detectives to follow up on. Chief, do you have anything else you want to add?
I'm going to have to stop you there, Deputy Chief.
Thank
you very much for your presentation.
The clock wasn't on, so I didn't know how much time. Thank you.
Okay.
We're good, right? Okay.
Bob,
Time for technical questions?
I have a point of order first, Bob.
Sure.
Noah Betajon, Precinct 6. It may be a point of information. That you'd have to tell me. But in the past, including at this year's town meeting, we have had a policy where if an amendment was presented for a article, in due time, ahead of time, that we would consider the amendment before we moved on to the main motion, and that amendment would also get its technical questions and pro and con debate. And so I'm wondering if we can do that now.
Yeah, he's saying we can do his amended motion. That's fine. Sure, you can make your amended motion right now, because we
Okay.
first have to put the what we like to do, put the main motion on the screen, which is, even though this is a component of the main motion, yeah, so you want to go ahead and make your amendment to the motion, go ahead.
Yeah, is it? All right.
Do it now, then we can get into technical questions on your amendment.
Thank you. So I move to amend the main motion as follows with, okay, it doesn't matter if the deletions are stricken through and additions are noted in bold red, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate, transfer from available funds in the treasury, if any, and or borrow a sufficient sum of money to purchase capital for the police department, or take any other action relative thereto effective fiscal year 2026. Flock safety software is struck out along with its price tag of $60,000. Then we have an addition of, in recognition of citizens' privacy concerns, the town requests that the Stoughton Police Department cancel any existing or pending contracts with Flock Safety, irrespective of funding source, and return any Flock cameras or equipment that may have already been delivered. Then our estimated costs are knocked down to $405,000 total. That is just removing the $60,000 for Flock. And the proposed motion is that the town vote to appropriate and fund to design, permit, install, and construct and purchase capital improvement projects and items associated with the police department capital items as set forth in items number 1, number 2, and number 4 of the chart printed in the warrant.
Okay, is there a second? Who seconded? Ed Quigley. Thank you very much. All right, you want to do a quick presentation, Noah?
Yes, I'd like to do
Town council asked me for, he needs to make a comment on your motion. Hold on for a second. Go ahead, Mr. Town Council.
Mr. Moderator, thank you for recognizing me. I just wanted to speak briefly before you begin with technical questions and a presentation, and it's to bring to your attention and through you to the meeting's attention a concern I have about one of the paragraphs here. So I have no objection or concerns from a legal perspective with respect to the deletion of the $60,000 for Flock safety software or any of the changes related to that. I do have a concern about the paragraph that begins, in recognition of citizens' privacy concerns. That paragraph speaks to canceling existing or pending contracts, and it also speaks to returning Flock cameras and equipment that may have already been delivered. And my concern is twofold. One is I raise the question of scope. There's nothing in this capital acquisition article, Article 15, that gets to existing contracts, existing equipment. That's, sorry, I turned my head towards the moderator, my apologies. That gets to the existing equipment, that gets to canceling existing contracts. And I raise this question to you, Mr. Moderator, as to whether or not that's in the scope of this article. And the second concern I have is that even if you find it to be within the scope, town meeting, I have serious concerns whether or not town meeting even has the authority to suggest or require that existing contracts be canceled or equipment that is subject to existing contracts be canceled and the equipment returned. So for both of those reasons, I ask you to consider whether or not that's within the scope before we proceed, Mr. Moderator. Thank you.
If I could respond briefly. Thank you, Mr. Winter. That is the reason why the paragraph says that the town requests that the Stoughton Police Department do the following things. It is because I understand that we do not have the legal authority to require the police department to do any of the following, to cancel contracts, return, etc. And so that is why this paragraph is stated as a request to the police department rather than a legally binding requirement.
Yes, go ahead and respond, please.
Very briefly, Mr. Moderator, and thank you. I understand, and I understand the policy intent and purpose, and policy is none of my business. My question is of scope, whether or not it's stated as a request or otherwise, it's still not within the scope of the article, or that's my concern. So I have no problem with the proposed amendment, and I think the moderator should entertain it and the meeting should debate it. But I think that paragraph should be removed from it. with everything else remaining intact. And so I have no problem with the rest of the proposed amendment, just that one paragraph.
Okay, my ruling is to rule that out of scope, because you can't, as the town council said, you can't force the town to comply with this request.
Okay, very
But
good.
everything else will stay in,
That's,
okay?
that's quite all right,
Fair
and I
enough.
will
All
begin
right,
my
so we're gonna just
presentation when.
remove that from the motion. Okay, no, so we're gonna edit the
Yep,
motion
go,
just with
yep,
that
go
verbiage.
for it, and let me know when you are ready
Yeah, just
for
give us a moment.
for a presentation.
Yep, okay, 1 second. Is there a point of order?
Point of order, please.
Yes,
So.
State
here-
your name, please,
Roberta
and the precinct.
Harback, Precinct 7.
yes.
We just had my article that did not pass, and now here we have town council helping this gentleman rewrite his motion.
No, he's not,
Well, you're striking
Well-
a paragraph, so it's not what he put down in writing. So how can this be? Doesn't make a difference.
Would you like to respond? I'll have town council respond.
Doesn't seem fair.
I think there are two really important distinctions. One is this is an article that was inserted by the select board. It's not a citizen's petition.
Correct.
Second, I'm not rewriting the article. I'm suggesting that one paragraph be deleted because it exceeds the scope of Article 15. And so under town meeting time, it's just not properly before the meeting. So we're not changing the sum and substance of the article, or I'm not suggesting so. We're just deleting one little portion that I believe is improper under the rules of town meeting time. So we're not rewriting it, and I don't believe I'm providing guidance. I think I'm actually suggesting that we do something that the speaker does not want done. And so I'm actually suggesting something I imagine the speaker objects to.
But you're helping
and
a
not assisting
citizen.
him at all. So back.
You're helping a
Returning to you.
citizen, not anybody who's can submit an article. You're helping a citizen. I'm a citizen too.
He's helping you, Roberta.
Excuse
Well,
me?
let's not have any cross debate. I think town council is very clear. This is an established article, and then we have an amended motion to establish article. That's all the difference is. You have a point of order?
I have a point of order, yes. Barbara Ansvino, Precinct 4. So what I want to know is if we vote this down, does that mean we go back and we still get to vote for the flock cameras and the tasers? Or does that go away because we voted this down?
Mr. Town Council, go ahead.
As I understand it, the proposed amendment addresses only item 3. So the vote on item 1 is intact, the vote on item 2 intact, and we'll proceed to item 4 after we address item 3.
Okay, so if you don't want the flock cameras, this is the time you have to talk about them right now. You can't, it's not just this amended motion. This is the time.
Well, I think what she's saying, I believe what she's asking is, the amended motion's on the floor and on the screen right now. If they vote on this amended motion, do we go back then to the, if it up or down, say it goes down, do we go back to the main motion? Is that your question?
Yes, that's my
Okay.
question.
Okay. Try to interpret it for you. Go ahead.
Thank you.
Okay,
Well,
you're welcome.
If this amendment passes, item 3 in the main motion is going to be deleted.
Correct.
And so, as you stated, this is the time to debate whether or not item 3 should be considered by this meeting or not. The amendment is to delete it, so there won't be anything to consider if this passes.
Right, but if it fails, this is it. Yes or no right now? Okay.
Yes,
All
that's
right.
what he's saying.
Just want everybody to know that. All right? Thank you.
Thank you for your question, for your point of order. Okay, are we all understand how we're doing this? I'm gonna give,
I'm not.
okay. Wait a minute, let's go to Carmel first. Deputy
Carmel Drews,
Moderator.
Precinct 5.
We have a question?
I'm not understanding. If the amendment fails, would we not then go back to the motion as it's written and talk about item 3 and then vote on it?
Yeah, different one.
Point of order, Piper Slinsky, Precinct 7. Since the...
One moment, please. We had a question for us. Go ahead.
The proposed amendment deletes or suggests deleting item 3. The main motion has been on the floor the entire discussion. We divided the question into 4 questions. We addressed 1, we addressed 2, now we're talking about 3. If this passes, 3 would be 0 funded, right? It would go from 60,000 to 0. 3's out. And then we would proceed to item 4, which is still part of the main motion. So, of course, the main motion is being considered. We've been discussing it this entire time so far. So,
Through you, Mr. Moderator, I think the confusion is what will happen if this fails.
Just the opposite.
if this fails, we go back to item 3 as printed in the warrant and as stated in the main motion.
Could you identify yourself, please, and use the microphone?
Carolyn Campbell, Precinct 4, would we, to follow up on that, would we then, if this motion fails, are we going to vote Article 3, the third item separately, like we have 1 or 2, or are we just going to skip it and say it's approved?
No, of course. If the amendment fails, then we go back to the main motion, which is whether or not town meeting will approve $60,000 from free cash for flock safety software. That's the main motion on item 3. The proposal is to remove it. If that fails, we go right back to the main motion on item 3, and we go back to where we started before the speaker made his motion.
Thank you.
Okay, are we all clear on that?
If I could, Mr. Moderator?
You have a point of
just
order?
Well, point of order, just to get something clarified.
Identify yourself, please.
John Anzavino, Precinct 4.
Sure.
You indicated this was outside the scope because it talked about a contract. So,
just the paragraph, just that little paragraph.
yes, but, I mean, if you approve the funding, don't you approve that to go forward and sign contracts with them? So why would that be out of the scope? The article is looking for the funding for the flock cameras. Isn't that including signing the contract to use them?
My
Or with
understanding,
flock?
I'm going to have town council explain a little further. My understanding from town council is this body cannot force the town to cancel any existing or pending contracts. Okay?
Well, I'd be surprised to know that they actually have a contract if we haven't voted to fund it yet. But I just wanted that clarified. I thought if you approved the funding, it would allow them to go ahead and do the contract.
Okay, I don't want to speak for town council.
Thank you.
Yeah, this question may be better directed towards the department, but the paragraph about canceling existing pending contracts has to do with other flock safety matters and not the $60,000 for some future contract with respect to the flock safety software. That's my understanding. If town meeting does not approve the $60,000, obviously there's no funding to enter into a new contract for the contemplated flock safety software. That has nothing to do with whether or not there have already been appropriations or funds or existing equipment or existing contracts completely outside and beyond what we're talking about here today. So I think they're two very distinct things.
Okay, thank you.
And I do invite the representatives of the police department to correct me if I've misstated that.
Chief, did you want to add anything to that?
Certainly, through you, Mr. Moderator, we have a grant, and the contract has been signed, and that was expressed at the FinCom meeting, at the Select Board, and so I'll reiterate it to this body. Being transparent, we signed a contract with them for the first year. This funding is for year 2 and 3.
Okay. Can we move forward? Do you have a point of order?
Just a suggestion.
No suggestion. Point of order, or we're moving on.
Well, then the point of order is motions usually aren't crafted in a way where it's a negative vote. Right now, the way we have it, if you vote yes, you're deleting funds. And it's usually constructed so a yes means an approval and a no means a denial.
Well, I'm sorry. Why don't we, so everybody settle down. Let's have the speaker make his presentation. No, I can give you 8 minutes, okay?
8 minutes?
Take
Okay.
your time.
All right, I'll wait until they're officially on the clock.
Okay, they're on the clock?
Oh.
Can you
Through
turn
you,
that-
Mr. Moderator, we only have a 10-minute or a 5-minute option, so when it hits 2, you're
The
done.
reason why it's 8 minutes is because the main motion is 10 minutes. I got to give you a
Thank
little
you very
less.
much.
Okay.
So I'm I made this this amended motion because a lot of us have multiple significant concerns about the use of Flock Safety as a company and their software. So several of the sort of rebuttals to the information that I put out regarding the company or the software or the legal situation that the company finds itself in are misunderstandings of the purpose of presenting that information. So I wanted to give a little rundown of some of these concerns. Okay, so in terms of Flock Safety using cameras from a JCC gymnasium and swimming pool in order to showcase the awesomeness of their products to police departments around the country. The purpose of me including an article about that was not to suggest that we should be concerned about Flock Safety using security cameras that we don't own in a JCC that we don't have. It was in order to give a sense of the ethics of this company. What company are we talking about signing a contract with? We're signing a contract with the kind of company that thinks it's really neat and cool to take private footage from children doing gymnastics at a JCC and show it to departments across the country, right? Secondly, there was a concern around a judge in Washington ruling that all of the Flock data was a public record and that any old person could, walk into their town and put in a request for those public records, right? I am well aware that that happened in Washington State and not the state of Massachusetts. That does not mean that we could not see such a ruling come down in Massachusetts sometime in the future, right? This is an example of the kind of thing that could happen here because it has happened elsewhere. Similarly, when we have the list of 14 known cases of officers misusing Flock in order to track family members, exes, and romantic interests across their states, I am not necessarily worried that our fine police department is going to do that. We are well aware that that is illegal. That was illegal in the cases where it did happen, right? It's not like in the state of Missouri or something, it's legal to stalk your exes. It's illegal there too. The purpose of presenting this information is to make it clear that just because Massachusetts does not allow something does not mean it won't happen. You and I might break 3 Massachusetts laws on our way to work each day. Okay? Massachusetts saying that something is allowed is not the same thing, or that something is not allowed is not the same thing as Massachusetts preventing it from ever happening. We would love for that to be the case maybe, but that's not the case. I deeply appreciate the work that has gone into both the presentation and the creation of new tools to hopefully catch any future stalkers who try to use the system. But the reason that they've had to do that is that people were doing it, right? People were using this software for that. In the same way that when we worry about sharing with ICE, right? Massachusetts says that we can't share with ICE. That's not necessarily going to stop somebody in Abington deciding to share something with ICE. It's going to mean that they can be prosecuted for it, but in the meantime, lives have been destroyed. Okay? All of these concerns are concerns about things that have happened, that can happen here, that might happen here, if we insist on collecting this data with a unethical company that has shared this data in the past. And we are also but one court order away, one Supreme Court decision away from Massachusetts being told that its laws do not apply and that the feds can use this information however they please. On top of that, we have, I don't think that was the timer for me. We've still got a couple of minutes. On top of that, we have an issue where the United States federal government has been known to hack into companies, domestic and foreign, for multiple reasons, on multiple occasions. That's literally what we have an NSA for, okay? So the notion that it is impossible to hack into Flock's system, is that a trombone? I'm sorry.
You get
as long as it's not a
serenaded
sad trombone. The notion that it is impossible for this system to be hacked, for this company to be hacked. I mean, Experian was hacked. You'd think they would have some really great security, right? I don't know of a major company in the United States that has not been the target of attacks. And just because we don't know about it doesn't mean it hasn't happened. Just because it hasn't happened doesn't mean it won't happen. So the only safe way to be sure that this data is not going to be shared all across the country with federal law enforcement, with stalkers, with whoever wants it, is to not collect the data. We don't need the data. We can do law enforcement the way that it's been done in this country up until when? When did Flock come into existence? Like 5 years ago? 2017, thank you. You know, my daughter is 5 years older than Flock. I think we'll be fine without it. So thank you, that was my presentation. I am very happy to take questions about the amendment.
Okay, thank you very much, Noah, for your presentation. All right, this is on Noah's part of his presentation, the amended motion. All right, so Teddy, I believe you're next. Technical question period?
I think so. Teddy Hansen DeWar, Precinct 3. I think this is the right time to ask this question, but it is for the deputy chief. Can I do that now? You have to, right?
I think it would make sense.
Well, why don't you ask if we determine who should go
great.
to?
So I heard just now, I'm not sure everyone can hear it because you couldn't quite hear the microphone, that Chief McNamara said that these cameras have already been purchased by grant and placed, at least. I know that you plan to get 9 with these $60,000. How many are already in Stoughton, or so how many do you already have or have in place right now?
Will we be able to get that answer, Chief, Deputy Chief?
There, excuse me, there are currently 6 installed.
So this would be for 9 more?
No.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Okay, moving on. Eric Coleman.
Eric Coleman, Precinct 5. Given the legal opinion, I think I can ask the question now. Are these cameras mobile or are they stationary?
They are stationary.
Thank you.
Barbara Enzavino. Piper, you up next? Justine.
Hi, Justine Penny, Precinct 1. My question's for the police. For the hot list, if information's entered wrong, can you tell me the process of how someone is removed off a hot list so they're not repetitively being pulled over?
So, depends on which way it's entered. So we have our own hot list. If it's entered wrong, we delete it. We simply go in and delete it so it doesn't hit off the hot list anymore. If it's something that was entered in the national database that we use to try and hunt down stolen vehicles and things like that, and we determine that, hey, this is not the right information, we have to reach out to that agency to have them fix that.
Thank you very much. Michael Horan, will you? Okay, Piper.
Piper Slonsky, Precinct 7. If an ICE officer came to a Stoughton Police Department officer and asked to run something or to have access to our data, how have our officers been trained by Stoughton BPD, by Stoughton PD to respond? And what are the enforcement mechanisms for if someone does do something incorrectly? And what are the consequences?
So let me go to one at a time here. So enforcement consequences could be anything from retraining to termination, depending on what it is. Everything is individual. I apologize. What was the other section?
It was this is specific to, like, if an ICE officer came and asked to have access to our data or to run something, what would be the consequences? What have they been told and trained by Stoughton Police Department on how to respond?
So that was part of the training courses that they took. It is part of policy that has been reviewed on our part. And they should know that they cannot run this information for ICE and should not do it. And if they do that, that opens up an internal affairs investigation.
So it'd be an internal investigation, but with no clear enforcement outside of that. And how often is this double checked or confirmed? Sorry.
Oh, yeah, you keep going. I'm sorry. We have to interrupt you. All right, Michael Horan, were you next? Who's? I think you were next. Then we'll go over here.
Michael Horan, Precinct 5. I am confused, but I'm hoping that the proponent of the original article can help me out here. You've stated it a couple of times, and you state several times in one of the response packets you provided that Massachusetts law prevents the Stoughton Police Department from sharing with ICE or any other agency for immigration purposes. And I'm unaware of any statute currently on the books preventing the sharing of information or of any court decision, binding court decision, that prohibits the same. Also, the fact that the Mass Association of Chiefs of Police Legal Advisory, dated May 2025, states explicitly that departments may share information with ICE to the same extent they would with any other federal agency. And in fact, numerous Massachusetts police departments do just that. It's publicly available information.
Is there a question in there, Michael?
So my question then is, Mr. Moderator, what is the legal basis for that claim that you are prohibited by Massachusetts law from sharing information with ICE?
Chapter 81 of the Acts of 2022 and 940 CMR 37.04.
Can you quote one of them for me?
Can I quote one of them?
Yeah.
So these provisions, I can't, it's not a quote of the law, but it's a description of what they are. These provisions allow for records to be shared with law enforcement partners for investigation and enforcement of crimes, included but not limited to terrorism, drug trafficking, human trafficking, and other criminal activity. But mass RMV records may not be used to enforce any civil immigration law, including but not limited to 8 U.S.C. subsection 1325 and 1326. Dissemination of these records to any individual or entity who may use them for enforcement of civil immigration law is prohibited.
Thank you.
All right, thank you both. Next, Arnie Feinberg.
Arnie Feinberg, Precinct 6. Could you tell me how Flock could be used for Amber Alerts, and how would they go about, let me put this question together. It can be used for Amber Alerts to track kids that have been kidnapped or whatever happens to them. Is that true?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Next up, Cynthia Walsh.
Cynthia Walsh, Precinct 3. Today, coming back from shopping in the Dial-A-Bat, we were rear-ended. Would Flock be useful in that situation?
Yes. if we have a plate or a description of the vehicle, we can search our cameras to see if that pops up, and then get a lead to who it is.
There we go. I'm sorry. Okay, let's move. We're all set. Let's move on. Next up, I believe Ann. You're up. Please
Ann
identify
Fisk,
yourself.
Precinct 3. What is the difference or what is the benefit of using these flock cameras as opposed to the cameras that we have at already installed at different intersections around town?
So we don't have any cameras installed at intersections. So
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Next up, Rachel Lazarus.
Hi. I had a question about the policies and procedures you said that you have in place in order to prevent abuse of the system. You said that basically the policies are you are trained not to do it, and you are then, if you're caught, then you get in big trouble. What about if you're not caught? Like there's no, as you've described, there is no way to prevent the improper access from happening. You can just slap them on the wrist afterwards. And there are ways to put in something that would protect data in this way, and you have not described any of them.
Is there a question?
Yes, why? What exactly are you doing to protect our data because the things that you have said are not sufficient to prevent abuse of the system?
So, first of all, they don't have any of your data. But second of all, if someone's searching a plate, that's what the audit is for, that I do monthly and check on. And then I can see if the case number and the plates match up to see if they're actually involved in some sort of investigation that we have going on.
Yes, but that is the problem that I'm describing. You have an audit every month. If you do your audit on the 1st of every month, someone comes in, messes up, and does something improper the 2nd of the month, they've got a whole month.
I
It's
believe
locking. It's closing the barn door when the horse is already
Excuse
gone.
me, Rachel, he answered your question.
It was not a sufficient answer.
Well, he answered your question, okay?
But that's not an answer.
Well,
So
that's
the
your-
answer is this: there
excuse me.
is no protection in front of the security.
Please sit down.
Why? You let so many other people talk.
They ask questions, and you asked a question. The gentleman in the orange, I'm sorry, I don't recall your name, sir.
Michael Taylor, Precinct 8. I'm wondering about the cost of the camera versus the cost of the software. If in the event they were damaged or vandalized, would they be insured, or would there be additional costs to replace them?
So the cost is all encompassing, the software and the hardware. And then if there is any damage, we are responsible for getting that reinstalled if we choose to.
Thank you both. Next
And,
up.
if it gets hit by a car, then we go after insurance and things like that. So we wouldn't be on the hook for that.
Okay, thank you. Next up, Robert Kirby, then Armando. Go ahead, Mr. Kirby.
Robert Kirby, Precinct 6. This is a question that is trying to unpack the rationale for the need or the value of getting this system, because I understand a lot of the questions are directed towards the concerns about privacy. And maybe if I threw out a hypothetical scenario, you could explain if this is the relevance of this program.
Is there a question? Please.
Yes,
state
this is
your
the question. Basically, is the value of this system to solve crimes? For example, if someone breaks into a business or has an armed robbery at some convenience store or something, and they speed away and you come to investigate and they say it was a green sedan, no, he didn't get the plate or anything. Like, what is the current system you would have to go on to try to screen that out? Is this system basically providing you with the means to now investigate all the green sedans that were in the vicinity or whatnot, and then follow up on those leads? Is that the kind of thing?
So, yes. So basically, we could go and search if we just had green sedan, and we'll come up, and we can limit this too to a time frame. Like if a robbery happened at 5 p.m., we're not going to search for 30 days worth of green sedans. We're going to search for a few hours probably, and search by green sedan, and we'll come up with any green sedan that passed one of our cameras. In terms of trying to do that without a flock system is a giant needle in a even bigger haystack. Like we would have to go through the registry and we wouldn't even be able to search that because it's just so much information, because that would come up with everything in the state, whether it's registered, unregistered, or not. So it would be much more difficult.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Let's move on. Armando Barboza.
Armando Barbosa, Precinct 4. I have an easy question. Obviously, it's been planned to roll these out. I was wondering, how are these going to be rolled out? Are they going to be distributed evenly throughout Stoughton, or are there specific neighborhoods which we'll be targeting?
So the decision on where they go is based off what we decide as a police department, basically high volume areas. It's not any specific neighborhood. It's locations of heavily traveled roadways in town.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Byron Zavino, you're on the list. Are you going to have a question? Okay, thank you. Stephanie Carrara.
Stephanie Carrara, Precinct 2. Through you, Mr. Moderator, to Deputy Chief O'Connor. You mentioned before about if someone did something incorrectly, it could open up an internal affairs research, or whatever the technical term is. If an internal affair situation is open, would that police officer or officers still be at work, or would you place them out of the office? Or it depends upon the situation?
It's definitely situational dependent.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Ed Quigley.
Ed Quigley, Precinct 2. Ms. Moderator, through you to the Deputy Chief. Just on the question of sharing, is there a policy to notify civilian authorities if an outside agency requests this data? Like letting the Board of Selectmen know, for example?
No, but we couldn't run it for them anyways.
Excuse me?
So no, there's no policy in place to notify someone. And if the board came to us, we couldn't run it because they're not law enforcement.
Did you understand that? Could we say it one more time?
My question is, if an outside agency requests the Stoughton Police Department to give them this information, would anyone outside the police department in the town, for example, the Board of Selectmen, be notified that this request was made?
No.
Okay.
The answer is no.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Moving on, Sylvia Whiting.
Sylvia Whiting, Precinct 6. Through you, Mr. Moderator, to the Police Department. I'm a little confused. This is asking for flock safety software, and yet you've stated that you have 6 cameras somewhere set up in town with Stoughton is approximately 35 square miles, so they couldn't be covering very much area, and that there's a current contract already with those cameras in place, and I guess with software. Will that current contract end if this is rejected? And how do you plan on covering 35 square miles with 6 cameras?
So it's going to end up being 9 cameras total. And we put them in strategic places to be able to work for us best. It's not intended to cover every road in the town.
I guess I also meant to add that you already are paying $27,000 a year to renew this contract.
It's a 3-year contract at $27,000 a year. The first year is funded through a grant, and for some reason, if it's not funded the other 2 years, then the contract gets terminated.
Okay, thank you both.
Thank you.
Lisa Lyons, you were next. Did you have a technical question?
Yes, hi, thank you. Lisa Lyons, Precinct 2. Thank you for your presentation. I just heard, Officer O'Connor, you said the cameras that are currently all over town at a lot of intersections, you said Stoughton Police Department doesn't currently monitor or own those. Who does? And what are those cameras? Who has access? It's a compound question, Bob.
Well,
Who has access to those cameras
So
in
what I
our
think-
town?
Through you, Mr. Moderator, what I think you're talking about is most of these intersections that have what look like cameras are actually traffic sensors.
So when you say traffic sensors to see how much traffic is going through? Can I just give an example? So like at the intersection of 139 and Central Street.
It
you
helps
look up-
determine when the light needs to be changed or not changed.
Okay, and the same thing right in Stoughton Center as you're heading?
Yes, on the light, yeah,
So those are only traffic sensors? They're
Yes.
not cameras?
they are not cameras.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Let's move on. I believe Joanne?
Joanne Curtis, Precinct 8. So my question is that, I don't want to touch it. I don't want to touch it. Can you hear me? All right. I think I heard correctly, and in a dumbed-down fashion, sorry. It's a glorified license plate reader that collects car, make, model, and license plate.
Correct.
It doesn't use facial recognition?
No.
Or AI?
No.
So what other...
Well, it uses AI to determine make and model.
Okay. But no facial, like, it's a license plate reader?
Correct.
And then, so the information that you're gathering is essentially a spreadsheet with
Not
that
even, it's a
information.
picture.
Right. Okay. So then my question would be...
You did ask a lot of questions right there. So you're taking advantage of this poor moderator here.
Not really. Only a
I know,
little.
I know.
Yeah.
You asked,
No.
I'm going to ask you to please sit down. You asked 2 or 3 questions in a row.
Oh, but they link in. One more little teeny.
Uh,
I never talk. I never
I
talk.
appreciate you coming up and speaking this evening.
All right. So he would like to know what nefarious, right, through you,
This is
through
a tough
him
crowd this
and
evening.
me, right? I'm not sitting down. Anyways,
Come on.
what nefarious purposes can you foresee in using the system other than, false accesses?
Nefarious purposes on our part, you mean?
No, just in general.
Oh, like what
at all.
crime we would be investigating?
No. What, like, other than crime, we're crime solving, what bad things would you see a reason to not have this system? Did that answer?
What, I think we're done, okay? You
didn't
asked
say
a
we
lot of
weren't.
questions.
I asked if I answered his question.
Why don't you ask your own question?
Just what's nefarious?
All right, let's move on.
He didn't answer it.
Well, you asked like 4 questions.
I was asking his question.
That's not allowed here. All right, let's move on. Thank you very much, Joanne. Appreciate it. Roberta Harback, you're next.
Quick question. So when I left, when New Hampshire took a picture of my plate today at the toll, is that basically what the flock is? Or when I enter any other state that takes a picture of my license plate?
Correct.
Okay, so I'm sure we've all had flock take our
Okay,
picture.
that's a question. Thank you. Pat Colburn?
Pat Colburn, Precinct 4. Through you to the Deputy Chief. I'm sorry, you were speaking too fast for me. When you quoted the law that states we're not sharing with the feds, I got Chapter 81 Acts of
2022.
2022. And did you say anything else after that, or any like subsections or
It
anything?
was 940 CMR 37.04.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, thank you both. I'm going to use moderator's discretion. One last question, and then we'll go into pro and con debate.
Benjamin Curray, Precinct 1. Who provided the initial grant for the installation of these cameras?
It was the Byrne grant. The Byrne grant, which comes from the state.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. As the moderator just stated, we're going to do pro and con debate. All right. Was John first? John?
I think I was.
V. John Rock, please state
Yes.
your name and precinct.
Hello, everybody. John Rock, Precinct 3. I think we're really overblowing this. This is just another tool in the toolbox of our police department, who are doing a fantastic job. I really trust them. It's just a license plate reader, and if it can help solve some crimes, I'm 100% for this. It's used in many other countries to help solve crimes. If you recall a pretty famous case recently, Savannah Guthrie's mother, if this had maybe been around there, they could have identified the license plate of the car involved. So any tool can be misused, but you know, at some point you have to trust the people in charge. And I trust our police department. I urge you to vote this amendment down and to vote the main amendment. Thank you.
All right, thank you for your comment. Moving on. Barbara Anzavino, you're next.
Thank you. Barbara Ansvino, Precinct 4. So when this first came up, I did a lot of research and I did a lot of questioning. And the first question was, do we trust the Stoughton Police Department? And my answer was yes. I absolutely 100% trust them. And if this information was being stored at their place, no problem. But it's not. It's going into a national database that's on Amazon. And I know they gave you a bunch of stuff that said why Amazon is safe, but they're relying on Flock to have all that software. And do you trust Flock? And do you trust Amazon? And the next question was, do you trust your government? Don't you think that your government can in reality go into that database anytime they want and get it with a warrant under national security? They can get anything they want. And once they get that information, then yeah, it can be shared with ICE. And then you have to ask yourself, do you trust Flock? There are 97,000 cameras throughout this country recording your license plates every time you move. And all of that information is going into this database that is controlled by a company, a private company owned by one person. Well, run by one person, sorry. 97,000 of them. Do you really think we need more? I'm sure that if anybody does anything, they'll pass somebody else's camera and we'll be fine. And now let's talk just for a second about whether or not you trust them. Senator, right now, who's watching Flock? Who is making sure Flock is doing what Flock is supposed to do? You think they're under some government agency? They're not governed by the FTC, the FCC, DOT. Nobody is watching Flock. Right now, Congress is trying to investigate them. Senator Wyden of Oregon says that they are very concerned about their cavalier attitude toward cybersecurity. So Congress is just starting to get involved now. You can see I'm shaking. I hate to talk. I'm really sorry. The next thing you have to ask yourself is, how accurate are these cameras? Flock says they're 93% accurate. They oftentimes misread a 0 for an O, a 2 for a 7, an L for a 1, and then all of a sudden it's inaccurate. So Syracuse, New York said it's closer to 1 in 10. Now 1 in 10 may not sound like a big number to you, but it is. And I just want to tell you about my sister. So my sister, my niece, and her husband house was surrounded by police, armed police officers at 10 o'clock at night because they thought that my sister had robbed a jewelry store. So she was sitting there in her house trying to convince them that she was indeed not a jewelry robber. So you think that you're safe because you're not guilty, you haven't done anything wrong. Think about it. 1 in 10 stops are inaccurate,
Barbara,
not
time's
because
up.
of these guys, but because of Flock.
All right, thank you very much for your comments. Next up is Michael Horan. Michael?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Moderator. Michael Horan, Precinct 5. I got a lot of problems with this. To begin with, the statement has been made that all the data is owned by the Stoughton Police Department and is never sold to third parties. That means never by Flock. Flock is forbidden from selling any of this information, at least now. But the Stoughton Police Department is permitted to share this information at their discretion. I believe the proponent of the original article said that we can decide with whom to share, what information to share, and with whom. You and I may have a lot of faith in the current police department, but there's no permanent ban on sharing information, and the current default position is meaningless without such a permanent ban on sharing any of this information with anybody, anytime. Also doesn't say anything about sharing with private companies, and speaking of private companies, the proponent of the original article does make a case for the security of data on Amazon servers, which are unlikely to be hacked. Willing to accept that for the sake of argument, but many of us, the problem isn't with hackers, we have a problem with Amazon. And particularly in light of the fact that the current CEO of Amazon is pursuing a particular relationship with a federal regime whose ideas on constitutionality are idiosyncratic, to be charitable. Finally, a lot of us recall reading Orwell's 1984 in high school, what a nightmarish perspective it provided. And if you did read it, you might remember the line, there was, of course, no way of knowing whether you were being watched at any given moment. Back in the day, we found that terrifying. Now we shrug. And we're being given an opportunity to put our collective foot down and to reject that kind of watchfulness and data collection that Orwell warned against, that he equated with totalitarian regimes, and that's incompatible with democracy as we know it. I understand and respect the police department's request. They'd probably be remiss in not making it and not pursuing every avenue they can, but we'd be equally remiss in acceding to it, and I hope you will vote in favor of the amendment, and I thank the proponent of the amendment for pursuing this so diligently. Thank you.
All right, thank you for your comment. Moving on. Next
Bob,
up.
Point of information.
Who's asking?
I just have a quick question because
Noah? Yeah.
I want to, oh yes, Noah Beitaron, Precinct 6. I just want to make sure that it was clear that I am in fact also standing in line for pro and con debate, that I'm not just on like hey, he's not in this line, so I'm.
No, we don't do it that way.
Okay, how?
It's your amendment.
Yes.
Yeah.
So he'll have a
So
closing
you
argument.
can do a quick summary at the end. But
Oh, okay. So I'll
we
do a
don't-
quick summary at the end.
You're
Thank you
making
very
an
much.
amendment. We don't let you do pro
Yep,
and con.
that's just
we
fine.
have 2 bites of the apple, maybe 3. We want to be fair to everybody. All right. Next up, Steve Wilkinson, please.
Steve Wilkinson, Precinct 4, move the question.
Second.
All right. We did hear a lot of debate with technical questions and.
It was all technical.
Excuse me, the moderator's discretion here. We'll leave it up to the body to decide if we're going to call the question or not. All right, that means, was there a second? Who seconded that? Okay. Steve Wilkinson moved, just for the record, Steve Wilkinson moved the question. Carolyn Campbell seconded the motion to move the question. All right, why don't we do this by a clicker? That way, no matter how loud you scream, we'll do the count by the clicker. Let me know when you're ready. So this is just to cut off debate, okay? Only to cut off debate. Okay. 1 means yes to cut off debate. 2 means no. This right now to cut off debate on this. Okay, I don't want to get into everything about amendments and everything. Right now, to cut off this debate on this amendment. That's all I'm going to say. 1 means yes, cut off debate. 2 means no, we'll continue debate. Are we ready? Please vote now. 1, 2, or 3. And I don't mean to yell and scream. I'm just trying to speak over everything. And we need a 2/3 vote. Okay, to my math, that's a 2/3 vote to cut off debate. 91 yes, I'm just declaring the vote, 91 yes, 24 no, 1 abstention to cut off debate. All right, now we go back to the amendment that's on the floor. No, you want to do a quick summary?
Yeah, I can do a quick summary. 1 minute tops. I don't think that. Oh, sorry. Noah Betaron, Precinct 6. I think that most of us in the room have already decided how we feel about this amendment, and so I don't want to belabor the point. I think that if you were planning to vote against, you'll still vote against, and if you're planning to vote in favor of my amendment, you will still vote in favor. But I just wanted to take a moment to thank all the people who have come up to me since I first submitted this amendment a few weeks ago. It is not often as a progressive, outspoken person who has a TV show and whatever, that I have people from all across the political spectrum come up to me and thank me for doing something. And I have been very touched by all the support that I've gotten for this, and I just wanted to thank the body for taking this seriously and for their support. Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, now it's...
Point of order? Just very fast. I just want to make sure everybody knows what they're voting, that yes means you take out the cameras and no means that you don't, right?
That's
For this
correct.
One? Okay, so I just want to make
Yes
sure we're
means-
all on the same page.
Yeah. Yes means we're voting for Noah's amendment,
Okay,
which takes out the cameras,
Correct.
if you want to use that term. And no means we go back to the main motion.
okay, thank you. I
Okay,
just
pretty
wanted to
much.
make sure.
All right? Simple majority for this. All right, we ready? Let me know when we're ready. We're ready now. 1, 2, or 3. Vote now, please. All right, that amendment passes. 64 yes, 49 no, 2 abstentions. Thank you for voting. Just give me a moment to record this. The vote was 64 yes, 49 no, 2 abstentions on that. Okay, there we go. All right, now we go on to item 4, taser replacements. Chief?
Mr. Marter, you ready for me, or?
Yes, I am. Go ahead
Okay.
for item 4.
Apologize. We're just looking to replace some equipment, and that's tasers, and a piece of equipment that they carry on the doo-doo belt every day. And these are important pieces of equipment for de-escalation tools. We're looking to replace just some of them instead of the entire fleet of tasers. And that's all the presentation. I think we've had enough.
All right, thank you very much, Chief. Technical questions? Mr. Starr, I see you rising.
Thank you, sir. Edward Starr, Precinct 6. I had a question for the chief, if she knows the specifications of voltage and the power of these tasers. I know they run up to 50,000 volt, and these mild, or what the voltage is on these and what the current is used on these here. Are they all the same, or are they all, why do they fail, etc.?
Through you, Mr. Moderator,
Sure.
these are the Taser 7 model that we're looking to replace. We currently already have them. The ones that have failed, they're a piece of equipment. They failed. They build
So,
things to fail, unfortunately.
Do you have any specs on the voltage?
I'll have to look into that, Mr. Starr. I don't have
We
that.
can table that for a later time.
Well, she'll get back to you on the information,
Pardon?
okay? The chief will get you that information at a later date. All right, who's next? Ben?
Benjamin Cray, Precinct 1. I understand this is $30,000 for 10 units. That would be $3,000 a unit. That seems extremely expensive to me. Is that the best price we can get on those?
So yes, there's only one company in the market, and that's Axon.
Okay.
And they can set the price. That is the reason why I'm here for only 10 and not replacing the entire department, which is what we should be doing right now, but we're replacing the 10 that need to be replaced that are broken.
All right, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Seeing none other? Tony Souza? Oh, sir, why don't you identify yourself, please?
Kevin Monahan, Precinct 3. Is this going to be a rolling request to keep replacing as you go?
So that is part of next year will be a plan of how to replace, whether we get prices on the newer ones. It's really, because I was very surprised at the 500,000 to replace all of them, so I chose to go a different route with only replacing the 10 that we need right now.
Okay, thank you very much. Tony Souza?
Antonio Souza, Precinct 3. My question through you to the chief. Are these come with any kind of warranty? I understand they're a piece of equipment that fails. Do they come with any warranty?
Yes, they come with a 5-year warranty, and then once the warranty is up, if it can't be fixed, they just throw them away.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you both. All right, see no one else at the microphones. Let's move on to pro and con debate. Anybody at the microphones? I see none. Mr. Souza, you getting to one? Okay. You're good? All right. I think not trying to rush this along, but I think no one's at the microphone, so this is a simple majority. We ready to vote? Please vote now. 1, 2, or 3. All right. Item 4 of Article 15 does pass. 97 yes, 13 no, and 2 abstentions. Thank you all for voting. Let's move on. On Monday, we also the body decided to take Article 21 of the special town meeting, police station feasibility study, which appears on top of page 62. I'll give everybody a moment to turn to page 62. And this is special town meeting, Article 21. And I'm going to ask Mr. Steve Cavey for the motion when he's ready.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. I move that the town vote to appropriate the sum of $200,000 to project number 10814 for the preparation of design documents to include schematic, conceptual documents for the construction, equipping, and furnishing of an expansion renovation of the existing armory building and site to support a police department, assessor's property ID map 081, lots 41 and 42, and to include schematic conceptual documents for the construction, equipping, and furnishing of a new police department building at the armory site and at the town-owned parcel on Washington Street, assessor's property ID map 52, lot 107, including but not limited to professional engineering, architectural, and owner's project manager services, plans for demolition and the removal of the existing buildings or portions thereof, and site preparation, including any required testing and or investigations, and all other incidental and related expenses, and further to authorize the Board of Selectmen to execute all instruments and or other agreements and take all other actions as may be necessary to effectuate the purpose of this vote, including contracts for the terms in excess of 3 years, and that to meet this appropriation, $200,000 be transferred from free cash to project number 10814 814. This article should be exempt from sunset clause.
Thank you very much. Is there a second? Seconded by Carolyn Campbell. Finance Committee report, please.
Finance Committee voted 11 to 2 to 0 to recommend approval of this article to town meeting.
Thank you very much. Municipal Operations Committee, please.
Municipal Operations voted 6 to 0 to approve and recommend to special town meeting Article 21 as written in the warrant.
Okay. Scott, go ahead, Scott. Yep. Scott Carrara, please, I recognize you.
Mr. Moderator, I'd like to amend this motion by removing some language. And if you want, I'm going to read the motion.
Yeah, just, is it up on the screen? That it?
Yeah.
Yep. Please read it. This is the amended motion on
This is a
Article 20.
proposed amendment motion that the town vote to appropriate the sum of $200,000 to project 10814 for the preparation of design documents to include schematic and conceptual documents for the construction, equipping, and furnishing of an expansion renovation of the existing Armory building in the site to support a police department on Assessor's Property ID Map 081, lots 41 and 42. Striking out this language, we keep going where it says including but not limited to professional engineering, architectural, and owners, project manager services, plans for demolition and removal of existing buildings or portions thereof, and site preparation, including any required testing and/or investigations and all other incidental and related expenses, and further to authorize the Board of Selectmen to execute all instruments and/or other agreements and take all other actions as may be necessary to effect the purpose of this vote, including contracts for terms in excess of 3 years, and that to meet this appropriation, $200,000 be transferred from free cash to project number 10814. This article shall be exempt from sunset clause.
Who seconded that? Carolyn Campbell, seconded by Carolyn Campbell. All right, just stand by for one moment, please. I need to consult with the town council. Yeah, I'm just confirming because there's a couple, at least another proposed amendment. We're going to deal with one at a time. All right. On Scott's amended motion to Article 21. Can we have a presentation? Whoever wants.
Yeah.
Mark Tisdale, please
I
identify
can do the
yourself.
presentation. Thank you. Mark Tisdale, Assistant Town Manager, Town Engineer. I'll speak on the amended motion because it's something that town management and the police department support. It falls right in line with our goals and objectives for the article. Page 127 of the backup material is where you can find the backup information in the book, in the big book. The way this will work is I'll present the article because a lot of it has to do with site layout stuff and engineering type of things. And then the technical questions to do with the space needs and things of that nature that the police department will answer those questions. The purpose of this article is to expand the scope of the previously approved article from the last town meeting to include another site, that being the Armory site. The previous article was funded at $300,000 and only focused on the police station, either new construction or renovation on their existing site and 2 other parcels near their site. I think it's really necessary to go through that feasibility study and the results of the feasibility study so you understand the reason for this article. The previous scope for the previous article at town meeting included programming, space needs assessment. They built upon the public safety building analysis that was done in 2019 and updated that. They also did, and this was my request when we wrote up the scope, was to do a site property line survey and a utility survey. Very important because I always had a hunch that we weren't going to have enough space for parking, and every square inch matters. So instead of just basing the maps on assessor's maps that are plus or minus, we needed a full survey. We also did geotechnical borings for the structural design of a new addition. Out of this study, we also got building and floor plans, site layout and parking plans established, building structural analysis, and renderings, 3D renderings. And lastly, we also got revised construction cost estimates. Again, just to recap, the scope of this study included 4 parcels. It was the police station parcel where the building is right now, the parking lot that's next to the police station where there's municipal parking, and there's 2 private lots in the back of that parcel that you may not notice, but there's a private parking lot for a private developer, and there's a little parcel in back of that that's wooded that's also owned by the same developer. We looked at all 4 of those parcels because through conversations with the developer, he was willing to negotiate with the town to acquire those pieces of property and use it for the police station. The total acreage on all those parcels is 1.98 acres. Again, we evaluated several options. Generally, there's two key options. One was an addition renovation option that included a square footage of 40,471, and the cost for that came out at $55 million. And that was a renovation of the existing police station and an addition coming off to where that parking lot I was mentioning is. There's also a new construction option. It was actually, if you can believe it, cheaper to build a new demo the building that's in place and build a new building. And that would be a 35,000 square foot building approximately, because you have more efficiency when you're building a new building. And the cost of that building would be $45 million. That study for the new construction, both options actually, required that there's 46 staff parking spaces and 9 public parking spaces for the police department, for 58 total parking spaces. The total parking needed and required by the police department is 75 parking spaces. So essentially, the outcome of the feasibility was a failure, right? We can't account for their future needs, current and future needs, based on parking. So we had to kind of regroup and say, okay, well, we need to expand this feasibility study to another parcel. And that parcel of land would be the Armory site. Everybody knows where the Armory site is, I believe. It's off of Pleasant Street. The proposed article, sorry, I lost my train of thought on my notes here. It uses we want to use the existing structure of the Armory, okay? So this article isn't going to say demo the Armory and put a new building there. We're looking at the existing structure. Tom and I, several board members, and many other people have gone there. The core structure looks pretty solid. Those outskirt buildings are in tough shape, but their walls are pretty solid. So that you can go into that building and gut it and redo it and renovate that building to account for an entire police department. There's adequate space on that parcel. The parcel has about 4 acres of land, so it's double what I just told you. 4 acres of land compared to the 1.98 I just explained to you, which yields more than enough parking spaces. There's future expansion capabilities for that property. There's already utilities right in the main street coming right off to the property. Yes, we will have to maybe do some slight demo, but not much of it, hopefully. So we believe this is a very good option to explore. We just don't know what the cost is. So what we're trying to do is we know, we've heard loud and clear that $45 to $55 million for either one of those options just isn't going to fly. We can't do it right now. It's just not the time or the climate to do that kind of project. But we do know it's a need of the police department, and we got to find a solution that's more economic. So very similar to what we did with the community center, we want to do with the police station. And I won't get into the details. Tom can if he wants, but Tom has spoken to the Attorney General, Inspector General's office about possibly doing a prototype bidding process where we actually reach out and we do quotes for all the trades ourselves, as opposed to doing a formal bid process with sub-bids. All that just drives the cost up. Either way, even if we went through a formal bid process, we need to get what this cost would be. And we don't know what that is. We're using an existing structure. We're using an existing building. The site's already pretty much graded where it is. We have a lot of benefits, and we have double the square footage. So we really believe we can get a police station that meets the needs of the police department, number one. Number two, it should be cheaper than any of the options we explained. We were constrained by the site before in the police department building, and we didn't have enough room for parking. We have all that here. So for those reasons, we believe it's very, we would highly recommend that we should explore this option. But again, it's really up to all you to decide that tonight. It's not, our approach is we don't want to, shove this to you and say, this is what we're doing. That's why we have this process in place. We want you to make this decision tonight, and nobody's going to leave here, happy or sad. It's your decision. It's why we have this process. So with that said, I'd love to hand over any technical questions to our police chief when the time's right. But and I'd be happy to answer any site questions if you have them.
Okay, at this point in time, we're going to recognize Scott Carrara for an additional comment.
I let Mark give you all the ins and outs about the existing site. It's so congested to see cruisers try to get out of there, to basically waste the money in that area is not good. The other building was sitting there. The police department operated out of there years ago for a short time while we were renovating the building that they're in now. The amount of stuff that they can do at this new place when we sit down and do, like Mark said, we're going to GC this thing so we don't have to get buried and tied up and stuff. But the building was assessed twice. It was assessed when it was going to be the fire station and then the combined structure, and we got 2 positive assessments out of it, and the building's solid. There's 2 buildings in this town that are on a fallout shelter. It's the library and this building. Basically, the building's wide open, so it's almost like we gutted the library. This one's already gutted, so now we got one step even closer. So we know what we're looking at for a number. We banged it around, and I think it's something that they'll be proud of, and this town will be proud of. It's going to be in a spot that it'll be seen. They have good areas to get up. They're always on 24. They're always on 24 with the fire department, so they can respond. It's a better site for them, more room, and we'll look forward to voting for this. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for your comment. All right, at this time, we can take some technical questions. Let me just see who was up first. Who was? Well, Steve has an amended motion that we'll deal with once we're done with this one. Was Carolyn first? Carolyn Campbell, go ahead.
Hi, Carolyn Campbell, Precinct 4. Through you to Mr. Moderator, to whoever could answer this question. I understand that there has been a lot of talk about possibly using a model general contractor plan. However, what is the intent if that model plan doesn't go through? And is it still the intent to build the new police station?
Who can answer that?
Through you, Mr. Moderator. The reason we met with the Inspector General is because Massachusetts, as this may shock some of you, has become one of the most regulated construction states in the country. And in many cases, it costs 20, 30, 40% more to build the same building in Massachusetts than it would somewhere else. So we invited the Inspector General down to walk through the community center and explain how we built that. That was a $10 million project all day. It cost us $4 million. And it's the highest quality you could have in any construction field. It's because we did it on our own. We've got an extraordinary engineering and project management team with the talent we've got in the town, including Mr. Carrera and many others. We dealt with subcontractors directly. If you go by the outside construction of the community center today, yesterday, tomorrow, you're going to see DPW doing a tremendous amount of work on the hardscape. We've got resources in this town. When we hire an OPM, which you have to do for schools,
But when you hire an OPM for a very simple construction site, you're paying profit on top of overhead, on top of profit, on top of overhead, on top of profit, and other people's overheads. There's 3 layers. What we did at the community center is what we proposed to the Inspector General that we do at the police department, and we think we can build that for under $30 million for a high quality. Nobody is looking to do things on the cheap. It'd be a high quality building. The Inspector General was wowed by the idea. And what he promised is he's open to a discussion with Mark, myself, Mr. Winter, Mr. Carrera. He's open to a discussion about doing a pilot program in Stoughton where we are our own GC, our own OPM, and we build it the exact same way we built the community center. Because he too agrees the cost of building housing and any type of construction in Massachusetts is cost prohibitive because of the regulations and because of the multiple layers of companies that are involved in us covering their overhead and profit. So it's a concept right now. It's not a promise. It's a concept. What we will promise you is if the IG allows us to do this, which will require agreement by the Attorney General as well, and by the labor unions, to try this approach, because nobody wins if we don't do any construction in a state because of the regulations. So they're interested in the model program. If we can be the model program in Stoughton, save 10, 15, $20 million, and have a very high quality building, then that's the discussion we're having with them. But it's still an open discussion. I don't want to mislead anybody to believe that we're doing it this way. This is just a feasibility study to see what our costs are going to be. Part of that will be a reviewed follow-up meeting between Mark and I, Brian Winter, the Attorney General, and the Inspector General. I hope that answers the question.
No, it didn't.
I tried to get away.
I want to know if that plan does not work, is it still your plan to build the new police station?
We're not at that phase right now, Carolyn. This is purely a feasibility study to see what it would cost, can it be done, are there any deal breakers? Once we get that done and we have all that information, then we look at that cost and can we not afford it at what the cost to build it would be? That would be the decision of this body. And after that, if we make progress with the IG and the AG about finding a better, cheaper, faster way to build a better building, then we'll bring that to this body, and this body will make that decision.
All right, I don't think I'm going to get an answer to my question, so
I'm
thank you.
trying. I guess I'm not clear. Maybe
Yeah,
Mark, maybe Mark is.
my question is to give you a little, perhaps to understand. You did a nice job with this approach at the community center.
What's your question, though? Let's get right to the question.
I'm explaining why I'm asking. I'm asking is what is the intent? Is the intent to build the new police station? We're hearing all about the plan with the Inspector General. All right, I have mixed feelings about that because sometimes it works well, and then we've also had buildings like the current police station where we've had local clerks of works and we have issues.
Okay.
Let's have a question. So the question just is, are you going to build it if, whether or not, but I'm not going to get an answer, I think, any more than I have, so.
Carolyn, you will. I now understand your question.
Okay.
We don't make that decision. All of you do.
Okay, thank you.
All we're going to bring is information, but a point of clarification, this has never been done before.
Okay, thank you.
We have had situations in this town where Joe, Fred, Mark, Steve, and Bill went out and did their best to build a fire department, and it started falling apart in 6 years. That's not what we're proposing.
Okay, I mean, I will wait to see whatever you come and propose.
Great, thank you.
Thank you very much, both of you. Next up, Don Dino.
Dawn Dino, Precinct 4. My question's about the $200,000 that we're asking for a feasibility study. Are we using the same company to do this feasibility study? Because I know that we've always asked for money for feasibility studies, and I figured $200,000 seems to be twice as much to do a large project like this would cost. And I was just wondering if it gets fitted out. Thank you.
I could answer that question. It's a good question. Thank you. $200,000 is a lot of money. I agree with you, and it will be the same architectural firm. The reason being is they use their own means and methods to do estimating in the project. Why would you want to mix two different architects when you're comparing numbers? It'd be mixing apples and oranges. And just to kind of piggyback onto that, the estimate will be done based on if the project's going out to bid, just like the first two options at the police station were. Because we need to compare the prices from the first two options at the police station that didn't work to this option. And at the end of the day, we want a nice, simple chart that everybody can review with all the options, so you have something to pick from that was all done on the same playing field. I'm not sure, did I address your question? I feel like I might have.
Okay, thank you both. Dave Lurie, you're up next.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. David Lurie, Precinct 6, through you. I have always looked at these feasibility studies as being almost like a correlation between the dollar number in the study to the maximum you could expect in the scope and cost of the actual job. If you have money from the original study on Rose Street and you combine it with this, and you just kind of come up with some number over 200,000, whatever it is there a maximum size and scope in cost because of the size of the feasibility study, and what is that number? Or is it not really enough science to that to really, say this is the most you'll get in cost for a new police station?
And there's no simple equation to calculate what the cost of a feasibility study would be. You could think you could apply certain concepts, but every site's different. So it's the fact that we're actually dealing with an existing building, trying to renovate it, possibly putting additions on it, and we're dealing with more square footage of a piece of property, that price is going to be a little more higher than a typical smaller site that you're constrained to. So this particular piece of property, the number came out of $200,000.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Okay, thank you both. Moving on, Janice Schneider, you're up next.
Janice Schneider, Precinct 6. Through you, Mr. Moderator, I think to the chief. The Armory, which is a very cool building, is clear on one side of town. Could you address your coverage of the other side of town?
Through you, Mr. Moderator, yes. We have been centrally located in the center of town, and that is great. We will be capable of responding to every area of town because we have the town broken up into sectors, and cruisers are assigned to that sector, just like they are every day. So we respond to the north sector of town, even though our police station is in the center of town, because we have a sector car assigned to that area. So we don't respond necessarily always from 26 Rose Street, so we wouldn't always be responding from the Armory. It's our sector, and they're assigned to the sectors. And so we would change the way we sector the town out if we moved, but currently we have it broken down in 4 different sectors of town.
Would you anticipate?
That's a second question.
Please just
No, I can't. Then I have to let everybody else. But thank you,
All right,
Janice.
thank you.
Thank you for trying. John Anzavino, you're next.
John Anzavino, Precinct 4. I guess just to get some clarification, but I know we've done a feasibility study. The last time they asked for money, it was $300,000 to do all the schematics and everything else. I believe Mr. Tisdale came up with why whatever we've already spent wasn't any good. Now you're looking for $200,000 to do another feasibility study. And my concern or my question becomes, what the town manager said is we're looking to try and do our own project management. But this is, the motion up here says it's to hire an owner's project manager. So can you just clarify exactly what you're doing? Because I'm reading the motion and I'm hearing words, and as Mr. Winter has told us many times, it's what's written that counts, it's not what you're told. You're welcome, Brian.
I can answer that question. I appreciate that question, John. And then tonight we're talking about a feasibility study. There's actually an owner's project manager for a fee.
Yeah,
if I could just continue. There's an owner's project manager for the feasibility study. When if we get to a construction article, we're talking about that process.
All right, thank you for the clarification, appreciate it.
Okay, thank you both. Moving on. Next up is Bob Cohn.
Question is...
Please
when
identify yourself and what
Bob
precinct.
Cohn, Precinct 5.
We sure did a great job on the police station we have now, a piece of junk. But if you're gonna build a new station, are we gonna have extra space not to be used? So if they decide to expand, they have it already there.
Yes. So to answer your question, we have doubled the acreage of the existing site.
I'm
With those-
talking about building the building. When you put a building up, are you gonna have enough room internally when you build it to have room already constructed? You can come in and put sheetrock and anything, room for expansion. It's cheaper to do it now than do it 2 or 3 years down the road. I think the chief understands what I'm saying.
So, yes, sir. We're looking to build a building for the future, not for right now. As I've said many times in front of this body, 26 Rose Street was built for 1998, and not for the future. So the plan is to build a building for the future as well, for expansion.
When you're expanding this, are you gonna, when you build this initial building, are you gonna have,
Robert, Mr. Cullen, you have one question.
I haven't got an answer for my question, sir.
I think the chief
No,
answered.
sir, she didn't. I'm talking about when you initially do construction, are you gonna build areas with walls around it, with no finish in it, for expansion? Is that easy to answer?
I can attack this question. And it's a good question. I think there'll be part of the building that will be designed like that, but the beauty about this site is we can literally plan for the future with an addition coming off the side or the back because we have the room, and design that addition so when that need comes, we can build it and it's already been planned.
You didn't answer. Never mind.
All right, thank you both. Next up is Ben. Identify yourself, please.
Ben Curry, Precinct 1, Finance Committee. So this is a financial question. Maybe it's something better answered by the heads of finance in this town. So I understand this is just preliminary. We don't have any hard numbers, but for the sake of argument, say if this is $30 million, do we have a realistic plan on how to do this without crushing the taxpayers with a fourth debt exclusion?
I'll take a stab at it, Ben. We just don't know the cost of this. We're really trying to drill down what the cost is going to be. So we're hoping for a cost, like you said, 30 million or less. We're hoping for 10 million. We're hoping for 15 to 20. We just don't know what that number is. That's why we need to go through this process. This site is completely different bird than the previous site, since we're kind of using much of the existing structure, and the site's set up for there's a lot more square footage. There's a lot more benefits to the site that should reduce the cost, but we just don't know what that number is.
Okay, I heard an answer that was related to the construction and the layout of this building. I didn't hear anything about the financial end of this build. I mean, do we have the reserve funds, excess capacity, the stabilization funds?
Through you, Mr. Moderator, to Ben. At this phase, we don't have any of that, Ben, but nothing will be done without this body weighing in on that. By way of process, the way that would happen is you get the results of the feasibility study, and then there'll be public information sessions on what the options are, what the cost will be, what our debt capacity is available, what the interest rates are at the time, what the impact on the taxpayers would be, and then, as usual, at the end of the day, this body makes those decisions. But we will assume our responsibility to make sure all that information is available before any decisions are required.
Thank you.
Thank you both. Okay, moving on. Rachel Lazarus.
Hi, I wanted to ask specifically about this amendment. What are what is the purpose and meaning of this amendment? What would it mean if it passes? What would it mean if we didn't pass it?
So the original article had 2 locations.
Mm-hmm.
The amendment just limits it to 1 location, which is the Armory building.
And why?
Through discussions with the selectmen, the police department, town management, we believe that would be the most affordable option. That we know, well, let's just take a step back. We know what the cost of a new building is on a site.
Mm-hmm.
It's what was it, 45 million? So why explore that option on another site when we know 45 million is not affordable? So that's why we took that site off. We really think the Armory is a unique site where we can save a lot of money and focus on that.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you both. Moving on. Noah, you're up next.
Well, excuse me. Noah Betaron, Precinct 6. My question is actually kind of a follow-up on that, which is I understand that it makes a lot of sense to be pursuing the better and cheaper of the options more seriously. But what are we going to say to people who a year from now say, how come we chose this site if we don't have the numbers from a different option just to compare it to say, okay, this one's cheaper, et cetera?
Well, we own the parcel, first of all, and second of all, we do know the cost of a new building. We've already analyzed it. I mean, it's it could be, instead of 45 million, it might be 43 million or 47 million, but we know the ballpark estimate of a new building. There's really no reason to explore that other site when we want to focus on this, and this is our priority.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you both. Next up, Marina Riots.
Marina Ryans, Precinct 7. Do you have any available affordable alternatives for this project and revenue that will fund this project, including feasibility?
At this time, we do not have any other options other than what everybody's aware of, the typical revenue we receive. Again, right now I just want to really drive the focus on this feasibility study. We may not have a project after this feasibility. If the feasibility study comes back and it's a $35, $40, $45 million project, then there's no project, right? So, but if it comes back and it's a $15, $20 million, $25 million project, something in that range, maybe it's something that you might consider. But we need to get through this first step first.
Thank you both. As the moderator's discretion, I have 5 more people for technical questions, and then we'll go into pro and con debate, okay? A lot of questions came out, which is great. So just got 5 more people. Jonah, you're next.
Jonna Rosenblatt, Precinct 7. How much new growth is forecasted over the next 2 years that's not included in the budget, so we can keep in mind not to, hopefully, we can try to avoid having another debt exclusion?
We're still in the current year, so we focused on that growth. When we get to September or October, we'll know the estimated new growth for the next fiscal year. We never go 2 years out. It's just too much of an unknown. We don't know what projects are coming down the pipe or which building permits have been issued, things of that nature.
Thank you both. Next up, Janice Esdale.
Janice Esdale, Precinct 5. If this does become feasible, is the police chief planning to use both the current police station and the station at the Armory?
We would use 26 Rose Street while the construction goes on, and then after that, we would move into the Armory location, and we would not use 2 after the full construction is done. It'd only be 1 location in town.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. Moving on. Justine.
Hi, Justine Penny, Precinct 1. Will part of the feasibility study include if the Armory would need asbestos remediation, or is that only found out during the remodeling process?
You want to answer that? You want to come answer that? All right. You seem to know the details, Paul.
Through you, Mr. Moderator, I heard asbestos. I didn't hear the entire question.
Could you repeat your
Sure.
question, please?
Will part of the feasibility study include if the Armory would need asbestos remediation, or is that only found out through the remodeling process?
Yes.
So it would be part of the feasibility study?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Moving on. Just 2 more people. Paul Bellevue.
Paul Bellevue, Precinct 3. Will the feasibility study depict what the price would be if you're if we're the general manager or if it's going to be handled by somebody else?
No, it will not depict that price because we don't know how that process will occur just yet. It will be estimated on the same exact methods as we did the Rose Street property. Again, we want a simple chart where we're on the same playing field. If we estimate one of the options this way and another option this way and used one architect over here and a different one over here, we'd have different numbers all over the place. So we're just trying to follow the same
So after that,
methodology.
you'll come back to us and say, the estimate was 35 million, but we can do it for 25.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you both. Last question, Lisa Lyons.
Hi, Lisa Lyons, Precinct 2. So I'm also deeply concerned that the taxpayers should have to be holding the bag for a
Is
fourth
there a
debt
question, though?
exclusion. So my question is I've heard for months now that you were checking to see the inspector was going to approve allowing you to go through the process of reduced costs, and yet it's at town meeting asking us to vote on this. I don't, when are we planning on getting an answer? I don't see how we can vote for this without having that answer.
Sure. There's nothing for the Inspector General to approve just yet. With this feasibility study, we will get a sense as to what the process and what the cost is. We would then have to go to the Inspector General and propose a different process for building out this building and show them the layers we can remove by doing it internally. And then we will know if the Inspector General will approve that process. He, or at that time, maybe a she, may not. But we've made a proposal, they're very intrigued by it, but we need this investment to be able to tell them what that project cost will be, doing it the current way. And then we'll get into a discussion on a test program just for this project.
Okay, thank you both. Mr. Starr, not right now, okay?
Precinct 6, Edward Starr. Can we end debate on this one? And
We got to get in the pro and con debate. then you
getting
can-
kind of late now. And
It is getting late, I agree, but town meeting reps want to speak.
Yeah.
It's up to the body. Right, that was the last question. All right, pro and con debate. Let's keep it moving because we're only on the amended motion. Dave Laurie, did you want to say something?
Yeah, just real quick. David Lurie, Precinct 6. How often do we get an article that this easy to vote on? The current police station, we paid brand new, only lasted 25 years, and we're about to pay for a renovation project that's probably going to last us 100 years because the building is so rock solid. This is so easy. Please vote yes.
All right, thank you. Mr. Murphy.
Peter Murphy, Precinct 2.
Is that all? Thank you very much. Are you done?
Oh, it's not a question. I noticed in this particular article, it's the article shall be exempt from the sunset clause. And with this particular article, that's actually a good thing because we know that nothing goes fast on a building or planning or anything like that. So in that particular statement on this particular article, I support that.
Thank you very much. Marina?
Marina Ryans, Precinct 7. I am deeply concerned that the feasibility looks like a cheap amount, but I'm sure we're going to get much higher, balances going forward. And today, the Stoughton is paying for 3 debt exclusions. I believe until we done paying all 3 debts for 30 years, millions of dollars, and a lot of families have been destroyed by it. So I think we all need to have really consider this for our seniors and for families that have been destroyed already with 3 debt exclusions. So please think carefully before approving because it may destroy you. Thank you.
All right, moving on. Jonah?
Jonna Rosenblatt, Precinct
You have to
7.
speak up, Jonah. I can barely hear you.
Jonna Rosenblatt, Precinct 7. I just wanted to say, since we didn't give the police the tools that they need, let's at least give them a building not to use those tools in. And I really hope that we can use the forecasted new growth. I think that would be a good option.
All right, thank
No
you.
more debt exclusion.
Okay, moving on. Cynthia Walsh?
Cynthia Walsh, Precinct 3. I move the previous question.
That was Cynthia Walsh that moved the question. Scott Carrara. This is on the amendment to the main motion. All right, so we just vote. This is cutting off the bait. Okay, this is cut off the bait, just on the amended motion. So we need, it's 2/3 vote that's required. Can we set up a clicker? Well, if we have a clicker set up, we can probably prove it. If not, we can do a voice.
Notice I haven't touched any.
Any luck? Okay. This is to cut off debate. All right. A simple, 2/3 majority needed. All those in favor, vote 1 yes, 2 no, 3 abstention. Vote now to cut off debate. All right, to cut off debate is passes, 107 yes, 5 no, and I didn't see the abstentions. No abstentions. Thank you all. Now this is on the amended motion. For the amended motion, just a simple majority. All right? Then we'll go back to the main motion. All right, can we set up the clicker? Let me know when you're ready. Okay, simple majority. Vote now, please. 1, 2, or 3. All right, the amended motion passes 91 yes, 18 no, and 1 abstention. Okay, now, yes, the vote is, the amended motion passes 91 yes, 18 no, 1 abstention. That's on the amended motion. Okay, now Article 21 is main motion as amended. I think we all learned that from him since this beginning of this town meeting. All right. Okay. Steve, did you want to make a motion?
Yes, please. Steve Wilkinson, Precinct 4. A motion, whereas occupants of the town have seen substantial and repeated overrides of the agreed and established tax rate, and whereas the current economic status of our nation and therefore our Commonwealth and town are unstable, and whereas we are losing members of our community as our town becomes too expensive for our residents. Therefore, move that the town, as part of and subsequent to its decision for Article 21, place a moratorium on the consideration, including feasibility, design, or other measures of any capital, those that approach 10 million or more building projects until retirement of the debt exclusion for the high school scheduled to take place in 2038.
Okay, is there a second? Second by Ben Carrera. All right, you want to do a brief presentation?
Yes, please. This amendment to Article 21 is offered to provide our taxpayers with relief and our police with support. If you vote for the amendment and for Article 21, our taxpayers will know that we do think about their financial situations and we do think about our police too. The motion is made in response to a constituent request. In talking with folks around town, it appears to have a lot of support. That's why I'm bringing it. It is offered on Article 21, as that appears to be the first one having to do with another big expenditure, possibly a debt override. People have left or are considering leaving our town due to the escalation of expense that includes our property tax, whether that increase is justified or not. I recall one member of this body who has lived in town for most, if not all of their life, made a career teaching our children, and has provided commitment and expertise to our government for decades. Last year, they said words to the effect that they might not be able to continue living in our town if not for living on a farm. It is wrong that we could lose someone of this caliber because we're pricing them out of our town. I recently read the plight of someone else who grew up in the area. They lamented their inability to buy a home and noted that back when their parents did so, the home cost about 3 times their parents' annual income. Today, the cost of a home is 10 times that of their child's income. They give up, and with that, we lose the investment in our community as people feel less connected as renters than they would as owners. At the same time, as Mr. Gito so eloquently explained, we moved forward with other big projects with the understanding that we would address our police station's deficiencies. Article 21 addresses those concerns and will lay the foundation to move forward in that regard. This is why the amendment states that the moratorium take place as part of and subsequent to our decision for Article 21. By voting for the amendment, then for Article 21, we assure our taxpayers that they will get a break, and our police that we will move forward with our commitment to fix the police station. Thank you for your consideration.
Okay, thank you very much, Steve, for your presentation.
I have a point of order.
1 second,
okay.
please. I'll recognize you in a minute, but Town Council asked to make a few comments on this article, the amended article.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. Yep, hold on. Mr. Moderator, is it working now?
I'm
Okay.
here.
So through you to the speaker, just 2 questions. The first one is a clarification, and the second one is for you, Mr. Moderator. The clarification is, are you suggesting that this language be added to the main motion on Article 21, or are you suggesting that this replace the main motion on Article 21? What's printed here isn't clear to me. Could
You have to use the microphone, please.
Added. Okay. And then the second comment and question to you, Mr. Moderator, is Article 21 concerns a capital item for cost of a feasibility study for the police station. What I see, and this is not a comment on the policy or politics, this is just a parliamentary scope question. What I see in this amendment is that it's looking for a moratorium on the consideration with regard to any capital building projects until the retirement of the debt exclusion for the high school. So it's adding a moratorium on capital projects tethered to the retirement of the debt on the high school. And so I ask you, Mr. Moderator, is that within the scope of Article 21, which only deals with a feasibility study for the police station?
Let me just take a moment to review this. No, I declare that's not within the scope. It's clearly not within the scope of the moratorium. Okay, I'm sorry, but your article's out of order. Your amended, excuse me, I'm getting tongue-tied here. Your amended motion is out of order. Okay, so we are back to on the screen, the main motion as amended. Let's wait for it to come up on the screen. Unless I have an objection, I'd like to just take a vote on this till we get moving. All right. We're going to take the moderator's discretion. As soon as we're ready, this is to vote on the main motion as amended. 1 yes, 2 no, 3 abstain. Yeah, vote now, please. Main motion as amended. All right, so the main motion as amended passes. 84 yes, 23 no, 1 abstention. All right, thank you all for voting. That concludes Article 21. Let's go back to Article 14, and that's on page 54. Special Town Meeting Article 50, Special Town Meeting Article 14, Public Works and Facilities Capital, appears on the top of page 54. I'll give everybody a moment to get there. Steve Cavey, you making the motion? When you're ready, sir.
With regard to the various items, would you like me to read out all of the funding sources and the amounts?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Take your time.
You got it. I move that the town vote to appropriate and fund to design, permit, install, and construct and purchase capital improvement projects and items associated with the public works and facilities capital items, all set forth in the chart below. Item 1, unforeseen building facility maintenance, $75,000. The funding sources from free cash, $70,752 as spots 65. So $70,752.65. Next, Fund 5030, renovation town hall, cash balance as of 6/30/2016, $4,101.48. Project, next funding source, project 10427. That's 10427 A9H, special town meeting 1020, DPW garage, $146.27 for a total of $75,000. Item 2, 2 heavy-duty pickup trucks, F350 DPW, total $140,000. The funding source is free cash, $140,000 for a total of $140,000. Item 3, roadway sander, $40,000. Funding source comes from free cash, total of $29,754. Next source, project 10531. Description 10531, A6 special town meeting, 1221 Packer, for a total of $9,241. Project 10695, that's Article 42C, annual town meeting of 5/23, I guess April 2023, Public Works capital equipment purchase, $1,005. That's the grand total of $40,000. Item 4, DPW site improvement design, fuel station sewer drainage, $85,000. Funding sources include free cash, there's no free cash amount, project 10426, that's 10426 A9G special town meeting in October of 2020, DPW scraper, $55,421.60. Project 10427, that's 10427 A9H special town meeting October 2020, DPW garage, $29,578.40 for a grand total of $85,000. Item 5, IT Extreme wireless system upgrade, $70,000. The total is from free cash of $70,000, so the grand total of $70,000. And item 6, Munis water meter mitigation software, $150,000. The funding sources include free cash of $31,620.58. Next source is from project 10751. It's 10751 A27D, annual town meeting of May 2014, integrated financial software for $18,379.42. The next source is sewer retained earnings of $50,000, water retained earnings of $50,000 for a grand total of $150,000.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Cavey. Is there a second? second by Carolyn Campbell. Can I have the Finance Committee report, please?
The Finance Committee voted 12 to 0 to 2 to recommend approval of this article to town meeting.
Thank you. Can I have the Municipal Operations Committee report?
Municipal Operations voted 6 to 0 to approve and recommend to special town meeting typo Article 14 as written in the warrant.
Thank you very much. Everybody understand that typo? It's Article 14. All right. Can I have the presentation, please? Oh, we want to, I'll recognize Scott Carrara to divide the question.
Mr. Moderator, I make a motion to separate items 1 through 6 and vote them individually.
No.
Well, who seconded that? Peter Murphy? Okay, we'll do by voice vote. Okay, this is to, what, I'm sorry?
I have a point of question.
Point of order?
Point of order. Do these questions have to be separated because there are different funding sources, or is it okay to vote them together?
Nope, the answer is no by town council. Okay.
Thank you.
So if you don't want to divide the question, vote no. If you want to divide the question, vote yes. So by voice vote, all in favor of dividing the question, vote aye. All those opposed? No. Any abstentions? All right, we will not divide the question this evening. That's clear. All right, can I have the presentation, please? Introduce yourself, Paul.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. Paul Jaffoon, Public Works. You want me to start with item 1 right away? Okay. Item 1 you can find on page 32. It's just a memo from myself to the Assistant Town Manager. This article is for unforeseen maintenance. We've had this article at town meeting in the last 2 years. The 24 article we've expended completely. The 25 article we have, 25 expended completely. The 26, annual town meeting at 25. 24 we expended completely. Annual town meeting at 25 we have all but expended, I think, $17,000, but we certainly will spend that shortly. We're going to encumber some funds later this week, actually. We have 4 buildings that are at least 100 years old. Sometimes you never know what's going to happen. It's a nice safety net to have for just what it calls for, unforeseen repairs for mechanical systems and or structural or other issues.
Okay, since we're not dividing the questions, just go ahead and
Okay.
go on and do all the rest of them.
Excuse me, sure. 2 heavy-duty pickup trucks with plows, like Mr. Nastasia described last week, I believe, unless it was Monday. I think it was last week. Pickup trucks are, the backbone of our place. Plowing, hauling materials, and they get worn out. These 2 pickups would replace a 2006 and 2011 truck, which will be traded in, respectively. And again, they'd be equipped with plows and be 4-season vehicles. The sander, we have not purchased a new sander, I believe, since, 2016, I believe. Just like the rest of our fleet, we try and do the best with what we got. But we need to start really replacing these sanders probably every couple of years. We have 9 sanding trucks, and they get old and tired and worn out just like the rest of the fleet. The site improvements, as this body will probably recall, Mr. Tisdale, in his capacity as a town engineer, has come to you before for some design on subsurface drainage improvements and minor paving improvements at the DPW. We sat down last fall and we said, the fuel island and the underground storage tanks, the fuel tanks, getting up there in age. Before we know it, we're going to have to replace everything, so we're gonna encompass that in one project. This project, item number 4, is for design only, not construction, just design of all the underground utilities and improvements necessary. I'm gonna turn item 5 over to Tyler Kenny with IT.
Thank you, Tyler Kenny, Town IT Director. You can find information related to item 5 on page 45 of the backup book. This item is seeking $70,000 from free cash to replace the current town Wi-Fi infrastructure, which has surpassed end of life. This is affecting us most notably at the library, where the Wi-Fi controller had previously died, and we've been lucky enough to be able to repair it with hand-me-down pieces just to make it through this time. The longer devices stay in use past their end-of-life date, the more vulnerable to security risks they become. Passing this item will not only secure the public's access to Wi-Fi at our locations, but it will also seal the cracks that are appearing in our current out-of-date infrastructure. This funding will bring us up to date with sweeping upgrades to state-of-the-art technology and also align us with the school's Wi-Fi infrastructure. This will match our Wi-Fi devices to our LAN devices to make for more seamless administration, consistency, and reliability across all of our town buildings. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Who's next?
Keith Nastasia, water and sewer superintendent. This $150,000 ask is for the water munis. It's to merge our current billing software, which Kuzi, which is an old antiquated system. The rest of the town is on a munis system, so bring our utility billing into the munis system, which the rest of the town is working off of. So transfer all information of existing current accounts and any notes history to a single use to be consistent with all other departments of billing and eliminate the Kuzi network. Kuzi stands for Continental Utility Solutions Incorporated. A lot of the startup and integration has already been in the works. This is something that's been the town has been trying to do for years, and I've run into so many roadblocks, and now we've made a lot of progress, and this is the financial ask to get us to the goal line. I am open to any questions you may have.
Okay, thank you very much, Keith. All right, time for technical questions. Anybody? Noah?
Yes, I don't know that it's exactly a technical question, but you'll have to tell me whether I'm out of order or not. Thank you. As all of the remaining articles were uncontroversial at the committee level, I think we have the ability to get it all done tonight, and so I'm wondering if it is possible for us to suspend the rules to continue past 10:30 until all of our work is done.
Okay, is that your motion?
That's the motion.
Okay, I heard a second by Carolyn Campbell. This is to suspend the rules so we can finish this evening. That's what the motion's all about. So we'll go beyond 10:30 as needed. All right, we need a 2/3 vote to suspend the rules, correct? Okay, let's try by voice vote first. All in favor of suspend the rules, say aye. Aye. All those opposed? I think, any abstentions? By my delicate ears, the ayes have it. All right? So we're going to go beyond 10:30. All right. Please stay if you can. We appreciate it. Okay, technical questions. Ben?
Ben Curry, Precinct 1. What do we do with these trucks afterwards? Do we trade them in and get credit? And where's that credit go?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Where does the credit go?
What did he say?
I guess it was a compound question. Is that what we're saying?
I mean,
I apologize. What was the second part of that question? I'm sorry.
where does this credit go? Does it go into free cash or does it?
No, it goes against the cost of the new vehicle.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you both. Okay, John Lanahan.
Yeah, John Lanahan, Precinct 1. I remember, and it could be a long time ago, I've been on a lot of committees for a long time, but when I was on conservation, we redid, how old are the fuel tanks? I remember this coming up when I was on Concom.
I don't know that answer. Perhaps the only one who would know that answer would be Mr. Carrara. I'm going to put you on the spot. I don't know.
How
What was
old
your
are the
question?
fuel tanks?
How old are the fuel
You
tanks?
were probably with me on there.
How old are the fuel tanks in DPW? You have to use the microphone.
You're welcome.
The tank's got to be 32, you think?
Time goes faster. than-
Okay, thank you very much. Any other questions? Pat Colburn?
Pat Colburn, Precinct 4. On item 6, I'm just a little tripped up. I heard the explanation that we're trying to move the water meter software into Munis. My question is, how can we use sewer retained earnings for a water project, or am I just being too literal?
Yeah, the utility billing is water, sewer, and trash, and we're using the funding out of water and sewer.
Okay, so that just says water, but it's water, sewer, trash.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, Vaughn Anokian.
Von Anokian, Precinct 4. I understand I only have one question, so I'm going to try to get this all together. Because the facility maintenance of the $75,000, each of those expenditures are below the threshold of a capital, shouldn't this facility maintenance amount be in the budget? It just feels like this should be really a budget thing.
Anybody answer this question?
Thank you.
Through you, Mr. Moderator, I think the question is, why is it not in the budget every year? Is that basically sum it up?
The question is, shouldn't this really be a budget issue? Because that expenditure is not a lump sum. When you spend the $75,000, it's not one lump sum. It's like a bunch of little repairs or whatever. But I didn't want to get too far and get in trouble for asking more than one question. So, because I know you're only allowed one question, at least I am.
Well, we all are.
I don't know that I'd say that, but thank you, Mr. Moderator.
Mr. Moderator, to Mr. Anokian, the reason it's in a separate article is so that if that particular budget gets depleted, and let's say the air conditioning breaks at Town Hall and we have to get a part in, that's what we can use that for. Also, when it's a special article, you can carry it forward year to year, so we'll automatically have funding for emergency
I'm not going to ask another
situations.
question because I know I'm not allowed to, but that special part for the AC would probably be below the threshold for a capital expenditure. That's kind of what my point is. The 75 is not one lump sum that's being spent in one thing. This is really an amount that's being put into, call it a bucket, to spend toward repairs and facility maintenance. That was my question, why it's on the budget, but thank you, I guess, for whatever the answer is.
Did that answer his question? Okay.
We okay? All right, thank you. Carolyn Campbell?
Hi, Carolyn Campbell, Precinct 4. Just to follow up on that question, how much of, you mentioned that these, the advantage of doing it this way as a separate article is the funds can be carried over from year to year. How much of the funds have been carried over from each year to year?
This is the third request. The first year, 0% carried over. This year, the current year we're in, about $17,000 unexpended, but that will be encumbered very shortly.
Thank you.
Thank you both. All right. No more, it doesn't look like anybody's up for technical questions. Let's move on, pro and con debate. Any pro and con debate? Seeing none, this is a simple majority. I think we're ready to vote. Can we put it up on the screen? Please vote now, 1, 2, or 3. All right, Article 14 passes, 81 yes, 16 no, 1 abstention. Thank you all for voting. Let's move on. Now we did Article 15 already. Let's move to Article 16. That appears on the bottom of page 57, Fire Department Capital. Steve Cavey, can I have the motion, please?
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. I move that the town vote to appropriate and fund to design, permit, install, and construct and purchase capital improvement projects and items associated with the fire department capital items.
You can just say it's printed in the warrant when you get to it.
All is set forth in the chart below. Free cash, $450,000. That's the
Okay.
total amount.
That's fine. Thank you. Is there a second? John Rock seconded that. Thank you, John. Can I get the FinCom report, please?
The Finance Committee voted 14-0 to recommend approval of this article to town meeting.
Thank you very much. Can I have the Municipal Operations Committee report, please?
Municipal Operations voted 6-0 to approve and recommend to special town meeting Article 16 as written in the warrant.
Thank you very much. Can we have the presentation, please? Chief,
Yes.
introduce yourself, please.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Moderator. Chief Michael Carroll. We come before you tonight. This has been in our 5-year capital plan, falls into FY27. It's to replace the firefighter structural gear, just so we're all clear as far as PPE. It's really a safety issue. NFPA gives 10 years. I believe all of our sets, aside from new hires, in there, they have a second set. They all, and their 2017 was the year we purchased them. And it also puts us in a good position. The governor has signed into law that beginning January 1, 2027, no longer can the state, any fire department in the state buy protective gear with PFAS added to it. So we will not be able to, we'll be in a good position here to actually vet, really get the gear that we need and for the safety of the firefighters. I'll entertain any questions, Mr. Moderator.
You all set, Chief?
Yeah,
Thank you very much. All right, time for technical questions on Article 16. Seeing none? Pro and con debate? Seeing none? We good? Okay. And just simple majority? Simple majority. We're ready to vote. Are we ready? Please vote now. 1, 2, or 3. All right, as you can see, Article 16 passes. 85 yes, 5 no, 4 abstentions. I declare that a vote. 85 yes, 5 no, 4 abstentions. Thank you all for voting. Let's move on to Article...
As always, thank you, Mr. Moderator, and thank you for supporting the fire department.
You're welcome, Chief. Thank you for your presentation. All right, top of page 58, Article 17, Cedar Hill Capital. Can I have the motion, please? This would be Lori Jakes, Select Board Member Lori.
Mr. Moderator, I move that the town vote to appropriate and fund to design, permit, install, and construct and purchase capital improvement projects and items associated with Cedar Hill Enterprise Fund capital items, all as set forth as written in the warrant, 3 items totaling $210,000.
Thank you very much. Is there a second? Who seconded that? Peter Murphy. Thank you, Mr. Murphy. Just give me 1 second. Can I get the Finance Committee report, please?
The Finance Committee voted 14-0 to recommend approval of this article to town meeting.
Thank you very much. Can I have a Municipal Operations Committee report?
Municipal Operations voted 5-0 to 1 abstention to approve and recommend to special town meeting Article 17 as written in the warrant. I abstained as I am a member of the Cedar Hill Golf Course Operations Committee.
Thank you very much. Can we have the presentation, please?
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. Paul Jaffoon, Public Works. I'm going to stand in for Cedar Hill tonight, so bear with me. All your backup material begins on page 81. So the first item is the pump house that we have out front by the pond and the parking lot. That needs to be replaced. And also some irrigation. Don't quote me on the holes, but I know we're gonna do most of the work ourselves. We're just gonna purchase the materials through this article. Item 2, you can see estimate for storage bins, paving the area where storage bins, and improvement of tee boxes, and paving some cart paths and some tree removal. You can see quotes in there. Again, a lot of this will just be to purchase material, and we'll do a lot of the work ourselves. Item 3 is found on page 90. And believe that this is to add cameras in the parking area in the back of the building for the most part. Excuse me, I'm just trying to find it. And this quote is through our security vendor, where we have our not only security system, but all of our cameras that can be seen at the police department. We have over 200 cameras in town. This is the same system and the same vendor that installs, same support techs, and just be easy to integrate that way.
Thank you very much, Paul, for your presentation. Okay, technical questions? Steve Wilkinson.
Steve Wilkinson, Precinct 4. Is this covered by the revenues that are generated at the golf course?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else for technical questions? Seeing none. Pro and con debate. Seeing none. This is simple majority, correct? Okay, we're ready to vote. Please vote now. 1, 2, or 3.
Thank you.
Thank you, Paul, for your presentation. Okay, Article 17 passes by a clear majority, 83 yes, 13 no, 2 abstentions. Thank you all for voting. Let's move on. Article 18 appears on the middle of page 59, School Department Capital. Can I have the motion, please? Select Board Member Lori Jakes.
Mr. Moderator, I move that the town vote to appropriate and fund to design, permit, install, and construct and purchase capital improvement projects and items associated with school department capital items, all as set forth as written in the warrant, 5 items totaling $179,000.
Thank you. Is there a second? Second by Carolyn Campbell. All right, can I have, when you're ready, Carolyn, can I have the Finance Committee report, please?
The Finance Committee voted 12-0 to 2 to recommend approval of this article to town meeting.
Thank you very much. Can I have a Municipal Operations Committee report?
Municipal Operations voted 6-0 to approve and recommend to special town meeting Article 18 as written in the warrant.
Through you, the presentation, Mr. Superintendent, please.
Through you, Mr. Moderator, to the town meeting members. As you look at numbers 1 through 5, numbers 1, 4, and 5 are at the O'Donnell Middle School. As you noted, as I noted at the annual town meeting, of the O'Donnell Middle School is a target in our capital plan over the next 5 years. Item 1 is the beginning of the shade replacement for 241 shades. This is both not only quality the sun blockage and all that, but it's also a safety issue for us as a building. Items 4 and 5 are the replacement of OMS units in the modular classroom areas that are starting to fail. We've been replacing them. And then the exterior decking at the old middle school is from 2000, and that also is beginning to fail, and it's used as an emergency exit. Items 2 and 3. Item 2 is the replacement of 6 AEDs and an additional 2 AEDs, new AEDs, one here at the high school at the football field, and the other one at the OMS, O'Donnell Middle School gymnasium. So that will fulfill us having all of the AEDs that we need district-wide in all of our buildings. And then item 3 is the card access and vestibule updates at the Gibbons and the Daw predominantly. We have a number of doors that are in the vestibule areas that we're still trying to make sure that we're getting all of the different updates in terms of technology. That's the biggest cost, it's the software, in order to make sure that all of the fobs and no longer utilizing keys, which is a safety issue, especially when kids are out on recess, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
All right, thank you very much for your presentation. Time for technical questions. Mr. Starr, you raise them for technical
Edward
questions.
Starr, Precinct 6. I had a question on 4. The units, are those air conditioning and heating?
Correct. The O'Donnell Middle School addition that was done in modulars have been failing, so this will keep us going for a while.
Thank you both very much. Any other technical questions? Seeing none, pro and con debate. Seeing none, this is simple majority. Are we ready to vote on Article 18? Please vote now, 1, 2, or 3. All right, as you can see on the screen, Article 18 passes, simple majority, 82 yes, 10 no, 4 abstentions. Thank you all for
Thank
voting. All right, let's move on to Article 19, the bottom of page 60, Park and Turnpike Street intersection final design. Mr. Cavey, when you're ready, can I have the motion, please?
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. I move that the town vote to appropriate $400,000 to continue project number 10301 for professional consulting services to provide survey, civil engineering, landscape design, and other related consulting services with respect to traffic improvements at the Park and Turnpike Street intersection and surrounding areas, including the payment of costs incidental or related thereto. And to meet this appropriation, $400,000 be transferred from free cash. This shall be exempt from the sunset clause.
Thank you. Is there a second? Second by, we'll give it to George Stalinsky tonight. Is that all right? George, you get the second. Can I have the Finance Committee report, please?
The Finance Committee voted 9 to 4 to 0 to recommend approval of this article to town meeting.
Thank you very much. Can I have Municipal Operations Committee report?
Municipal Operations voted 5 to 1 to 0 to approve and recommend to special town meeting Article 19 as written in the warrant.
Thank you very much. I'll read the Intergovernmental Relations Committee report. They voted 7-0 to 0 to approve and recommend the special town meeting Article 19 as written in the warrant. Can we have the presentation, please? Mark, can you identify yourself again to the body?
Mark Tisdale, Town Engineer. Thank you, Bob. This article is just to continue the design of the Park and Turnpike Street intersection. Currently, we're at the 25% design stage through Mass DOT. This is to finish the design through Mass DOT to the 100% design stage. Happy to answer any questions.
Thank you very much for that quick presentation. All right, any technical questions? Do you have one? Scott Carrara, please, identify yourself.
Precinct 2. On this design, they said they were going to come back to us to look at what was going on, and the way this sounds is like it's already set. and we're gonna throw it in. This isn't for a rotary, I hope, right?
Yes, that's a good question, Scott. So we went to the select board for a presentation and explained the process. We've been through this design process through Mass DOT for several years now. They've actually changed their process midstream through this project of how they review things. We actually went through the process 2 times. Their net result came back with the design of a roundabout, not a rotary. Same concept, but it's smaller. It's a roundabout for this intersection. And they go through the whole process. There was probably 50 engineers involved with this project. With the approval of this body, there is a condition of this, this body, there's a condition that we need to go back to the selectmen to get approval for the project as street commissioners to continue. So if the selectmen do not approve the final design, the article will have to be rescinded.
Okay, thank you both. One question, right. All right, next up, Peter Murphy.
Peter Murphy, Precinct 2. Very simple question. Why are we putting a rotary there?
So it's a good question, Peter. Again, it's a Mass DOT project. We have to go through the Mass DOT design standards and guidelines and review process. We went in there with our initial thought as a town that we wanted a signalized intersection. We thought it would improve the level of service better than anything else. That was our initiated design. That's what we went in there through their process and their evaluation. Again, they control the process because what happens is the town pays for the design, but they will pay for the construction and the maintenance of whatever gets built. So essentially, we pay for the design, and this will be a $6 million project roughly. They'll pay for the construction. So you go through their process. What yielded was a roundabout. And they went through all their weighting factors and pros and cons, and they weighted the signalized intersection against the roundabout. The roundabout comes out as a better traffic calming measure. It has a better level of service than a signalized intersection, and less queuing in all approaches.
So the state is forcing that onto us.
They're not forcing it onto us. This was a project that we initiated as a town through the state process.
Thank you. Okay, thank you both. Yep. Moving on, Ben Correa.
Ben Cray, Precinct 1. Will this project proceed whether or not the town spends $400,000 on this design?
Through recent discussions with DOT, it will not proceed anytime soon.
Okay, thank you both.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, Tony Souza.
Antonio Souza, Precinct 4. Did I hear correct you saying we could be spending $400,000? We're not going to see this anytime soon?
No, I can clarify that for you, Tony. This is a town-initiated project through the Mass DOT process. So we do that, like in all these big traffic projects you've seen going on, the town typically would pay for the design, like say the Tosca Drive intersection, but then if we go through the Mass DOT process, we receive millions of dollars in construction, and they handle the construction part. That's what we're doing here. I think the question was, if say you voted this down tonight, I'm going to interpret the question this way. If you voted this down and there was nothing, would Mass DOT go forward with this project? And that question was asked to DOT, and they said, not anytime soon. So the intersection will remain as is for a good period of time.
Even if we spend $400,000?
No, if we spend $400,000, we are actually programmed on the TIP process for this project to actually happen. If we don't spend $400,000, we don't know if it'll ever happen.
Thank you.
Thank you both. Okay, next up is Diane Dolan.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. I just want to make it clear. So if we vote this down, it means that our rotary or whatever they want to put down there is not going to come to pass. Is that true?
Not anytime soon.
Not anytime soon. Yeah. Okay. I can't see those 18-wheelers coming out.
Okay, thank you very much. Asked and answered. All right, Stephanie Carrara.
Stephanie Carrara, Precinct 2. As you know, Mark, I live on Route 27. And to have a rotary there with the school that teaches the truck drivers how to drive and get their CDLs
And the,
Is there a question, Stephanie?
yeah, it's coming. Just hold on a second.
Well, we got to get to it.
I know. Well, stop interrupting me and I'll finish. To put that rotary there, and we have that Campanelli Parkway, I don't think that it's wise to do that, because if you've ever been on 27 at any time of the day,
Question,
they
please.
speed. Why would they put a rotary there and not lights? Thank you, Bob.
You're welcome, Stephanie.
Was that a question?
Yeah, why a rotary and not lights? To help the trucks get out of Campanelli Parkway and the tractor-trailer school.
So I'll just try to clarify what I said before. We've gone through we initiated the signalized intersection as our town preferred option, okay? We went through the Mass DOT process not once, but twice, because we actually didn't care for first of all, they changed their review process midstream. We didn't like their results the first time. We kindly asked them to go through their review process again and fine-tune their numbers. Both times they came out with their preferred option being a roundabout. So that's why there's a roundabout here. And there's different reasons for it. I mean, they have weighting factors. What's your level of service? How quickly do you get through the intersection for all approaches? Crash history, crash data. Are signalized intersections safer than roundabouts? There's proven history and data that roundabouts are safer from a crash standpoint than signalized intersections. So they go through all their criteria and they come up with a rating. And the roundabout had a much higher rating than the signalized intersection. And that's where we are. So, you know, it's one of those things where you can say you agree or disagree, but when I tell you the number of hours and meetings Craig and myself have been through with, you would like to think that I like engineers, but I really didn't like them after this project. There was like 50 engineers just analyzing this thing. So, you know.
I appreciate all your work and Craig's.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you both. Next up, Lisa Lyons.
Hi, Lisa Lyons, Precinct 2. So we have a capital plan in this budget cycle that has a massive amount of debt borrowing ahead. Wouldn't it be prudent at some point, to say no to borrowing, especially on an article like this, that it is not critical to the town to spend this money?
Yeah. So this was a priority of the select board in 2019, and the directive to the engineering department was to move this through the Mass DOT permitting process, so we did that. This article is also being funded by free cash. We're not borrowing from it. And the construction will be paid 100%, the $6 million project, by state funds, no town funds.
Okay, thank you both. Moving on, Justine.
Justine Penny, Precinct 1. This is a question for the DPW. How easy is it to plow a rotary with the amount of snow that we had this year?
Through you, Mr. Moderator, I don't know the answer to that question. We don't have any.
Anybody help?
Oh, and it's a state road, so we're not going to have to know.
There you go. It's
There
a
you go.
state road.
Next up is Noah.
Noah Beitajon, Precinct 6. Through you, Mr. Moderator, do we have any numbers on how many crashes there have been at this intersection in the last, 5 years, 10 years?
We have all that information. I just don't have it in front of me right now, Noah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you both. Robert Kirby.
Robert Kirby, Precinct 6.
Yeah.
Would this rotary impact the fire station in their entrance into traffic? Because oftentimes they rely on signal control to enter, precarious intersections and so forth.
Yeah, so the fire department has reviewed this, taken a look at it. The unique thing about this roundabout, again, so the rotaries are big. Like if you ever go through Middleborough Rotary, that's a big thing. Roundabouts are smaller. They're very tight. So you typically can move through them more efficiently than a rotary. There's actually a separate bypass lane traveling southbound, which you don't even go into the rotary. So traveling southbound on this, it's like a rotary. Now I'm saying rotary. You got me saying rotary. It's like there's not even a roundabout there. You go right around it. So their travel time to the hospitals or going to Brockton will not be impacted at all.
Okay, thank you both. Jonna?
Jonna Rosenblatt, Precinct 7. Jonna Rosenblatt, Precinct 7. I've heard that roundabouts, rotaries, whatever you want to call them, are more dangerous than not. But you're saying otherwise. I don't know for sure. But that okay. My comment is
Well, it's a question first.
I know. Okay. Wouldn't it be wiser for us to hold off on this? It doesn't seem very imperative. I'd rather see it go towards the feasibility study for the police station, or even held for a rainy day. I don't think it's really necessary, and I would urge everyone not to vote for it. Don't you agree?
Okay, it's out of order anyways.
Is that a question?
Well, I think I'm going to rule that out of order since you're bringing up the police station. We're not on that article. We're okay. Thank you, Jonna. All right, anybody else? Paul?
Paul Bellavo, Precinct 3. My only question is trying to conceptualize the how this roundabout is going to be set in there. I think maybe you've seen plans. Are they taking some of that parking lot from the where they do all the training, and some of the land from the nursing home, and that island there? Is that going to be just a rough idea? I mean.
Yeah.
And is it going to be a big roundabout? Because there's a lot of big trucks coming out of...
Yeah, I'd be happy to go over the plans with you, but that area is very unique. The road used to be shifted over towards where the Mass DOT place is right now. There's a ton of right-of-way there, and we won't be doing any impacts to the abutting properties with the roundabout. There's a lot of space.
Okay, thank you. All right, we're getting late here, but one more after Marina.
Marina Ryans, Precinct 7. Question to Select Board. Are there any priorities? Do you prioritize projects, or they just go any spendings uncontrolled?
Yeah, through the selectmen, through Scott, Deborah, and Lori, and Steve. Forgetting who I said. It's late. They would like me to answer that question. We did have a priority plan recently approved by the selectmen for traffic projects. It's on the website, and this project is listed on it.
Okay, thank you. All right, moving on, pro and con debate. Noah?
Noah Beit-Aharon, Precinct 6. I want to urge everybody to vote in favor of this article. I realize there's a lot of people who are not used to rotaries, who are scared of them for some reason. Rotaries are extraordinarily common outside of this country because they reduce traffic deaths and traffic collisions by so much. When you ask yourself, will it slow me down to go around the rotary here at this intersection? I want you to at least ask yourself also, how often will I avoid being stuck behind an accident at this intersection if there is a rotary here? Because rotaries prevent the kinds of side-on collisions that we have at not quite T intersections like this all the damn time. This is a dangerous intersection. It is set up dangerously. People are trying to turn left with very fast oncoming traffic, and we could save ourselves so much time as a community and so much money if we didn't have all these accidents here. This is just money for designing the rotary. The state is going to pick up the entire tab for building it. It's a no-brainer. Please vote yes.
Okay, thank you for your comments. Scott Carrara?
I got to tell you, if you saw the presentation that came from the engineers, I was embarrassed that they were in front of us, because I asked them, they didn't even know how they were going to plow the snow, and then one of the engineers said, we're going to push it all in the middle. And that's great, because at night, during the day, it's going to melt, and then it's going to freeze at night, and who's going to take care of that? You guys don't have a clue what 53 feet of trailer looks like trying to go around
Thank you.
the roundabout. They're rotaries. The state, they didn't come back to us, they were supposed to. This is before the second time they were supposed to come back to the board. The board did not vote for this. We haven't even seen the next conception. And it's nothing against Mark, but this board is the road, street, water, sewer commissioners. I would like to see what the final outcome is. They weren't even going to put lighted signals up. You got people coming off of 24, when they hit that intersection, they're still doing 55. Then they climb the hill and coming down through the drop, going by my garage and my house, you hear a Jake brake, and Juan Fox is worried about it. You should hear it when it goes by my house all night long. It don't bother me because I know what it is. But these trucks pick up speed coming down the hill. Did you notice that the lines, there's no passing anymore on that strip where the school's going to be? It's a double yellow line, so there's no more passing. They still pass right and left. They're doing 60 coming down the hill, and then they get up the top of the hill and they're headed back towards the rotary. They're doing 55 again. This rotary is not going to work. No matter what they say, where they work out of this state. Yeah, because it's in a rural area where you might see 3 friggin' cars. So this is very dangerous. You got Campanelli Parkway there that's booming out, and you get a 53-footers because they're not supposed to go the other way up towards Central Street. They're all coming out there. And when they come out there, they're going to have a hard time going around that rotary. It's not going to be slick and quick. It's just going to be a draw. And if it doesn't get through, it doesn't get through. Right now, I don't see any problem going down there. So I think it's something we got to look at before we go forward with this. They never came back to the board.
Thank you, Scott. Steve Cavey?
Thank you very much. I do urge people to vote in favor of this. Roundabouts are not a new innovation. They've been around for a couple hundred years. They objectively are safer. And, this has also been kind of counterintuitive for me because I have found myself at times frustrated by a roundabout, mildly. I can't really, didn't ruin my day or anything. But at the same time, sometimes it can be a little bit of an annoyance. But the science is there. There's a lot of data that's gone into this, and straight off the roads. This will be safer for the residents of Stoughton, and I urge people to vote in favor. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Lou Gito?
This rotary is at the intersection of Turnpike Street, that's Turnpike Street, and Park Street. There are a number of big trucks coming out of Campanelli Park in that area. They have to stop at a stop sign there. The issue is whether or not they're going to continue to stop at that stop sign and then come out when they might be able to, which takes a long time for them to get out, or whether or not they will go around a rotary, which there are many of them even around our area. We're looking to see what the final design might be on that rotary. After that design occurs, we can decide whether or not we want to move forward. If we do not pass this, then the trucks will stop at a stop sign and wait for traffic to clear enough so that a long truck can get out onto Park Street. I've seen a number of times when that happens. it's kind of a mess. I think we should take the advice of professionals who do traffic engineering and get paid for it. It is their job to be able to give advice as to what things are good and what things might not be. They don't think that putting a traffic light and stopping traffic on Route 27 is a good idea there. Why don't we at least spend $400,000 and see whether or not we might, in fact, get a $6 million improvement? I've heard the same discussions that have gone on about this, and I come to a different conclusion than some people. I'm in favor of this.
Okay, thank you very much for your comments. Next up is Steve Wilkinson.
Steve Wilkinson, Precinct 4, move the question.
Okay, who seconded that? John Walsh, we have that noted. Okay, this is a cutoff debate. We need 2/3. Let's do a voice vote. All in favor to cut off debate, say aye. Aye. All those opposed? Abstentions? I declare that a vote. Debate is cut off. This is, now we're going to go back to vote. This is for Article 19, and simple majority is transfer from free cash. Are we ready? Please vote 1, 2, or 3. As you can see, Article 19 passes, 54 yes, 35 no, 1 abstention. I declare that a vote. Let's move on to the middle of page 61, Article 20, Town Pond Management Program. Let me just see, I can, it's going to be Deborah Roberts, Select Board Member.
Yes, Mr.
For the
Moderator.
motion.
That the town vote to appropriate $160,000 for the continuation of the town's town-wide pond management program to include engineering, consulting, studies, and ongoing treatment to control exotic and innovative and invasive aquatic vegetation in our town ponds, including all incidental and related expenses, and that to meet this appropriation, $160,000 be transferred from free cash. This article shall be exempt from sunset clause.
Thank you very much. Is there a second? Seconded by Carolyn Campbell. Can I have the Finance Committee report, please?
The Finance Committee voted 12-0 to 2 to recommend approval of this article to town meeting.
Thank you very much. Can I have the Municipal Operations Committee report?
Municipal Operations voted 6-0 to 0 to approve and recommend to special town meeting Article 20 as written in the warrant.
Thank you very much. And can I have the presentation, Mark, please?
Yeah, Mark Tisdale, Town Engineer. This article is just to simply continue funding our successful town pond management program. It's sponsored by the Conservation Commission, and it's actually managed by our conservation agent. There's 5 ponds in the program. I'm specifically going to mention the ponds because I was asked at the Finance Committee and I didn't know the names of the ponds. It's the Harris Pinewood Pond, the Town Pond, Woods Pond, Farrington Pond, and Ames Long Pond. Those are the 5 ponds. Okay.
You all set? Thank you, Mark. All right, time for technical questions. Any technical questions? Seeing none? Mr. Murphy? I hear a moan out there.
All right, I'll sit down.
Oh. Seeing no technical questions, any pro and con debate?
I'll stand up.
Uh,
I'll be quick. Peter Murphy, Precinct 2. I strongly support this article for the fact the only problem I have with it this should not have the sunset clause part of it. They should, the 160 is over for 3 years, Mike? Yeah. Mark?
It's 3 years. If we have a little left over in the article, we're able to use it for the 4th and 5th years, because these are based on estimates.
Use it all up. Thank you.
All right, we all set? Anybody else pro and con debate? Seeing none? All right, this is a simple majority. Are we ready to vote? Please vote now. 1, 2, or 3. All right, let me declare the vote. 77 yes, 5 no, 1 abstention. Hang on a minute. Anybody out in the hallway we can grab? Lock the doors.
Do a revote. See, maybe some people didn't vote.
What's that again? That's correct. Right. Well, we can try again to vote. What, what's that? All right, nobody called for a quorum vote, so that's my... What are you doing there, Mr.
Peter Murphy, Precinct 2. Mr. Moderator, I make a motion we do a revote.
Okay, okay. No, all right. What do you want to do? All right, we can try, hold on, everybody. Hold on. We have a lot of brilliant minds around here. We're just taking a conference here for a second. We keep going on. All right. Okay, here's the rule. Here's what we're going to do. If nobody calls for a quorum, we keep proceeding as is. That's discussion by the town council. All right, so let's move on. All right, so let's move to Article 22.
I'm sorry,
on
Mr.
page-
Moderator. Could you just repeat that? I was yapping and I missed it.
Pardon me?
Could you just repeat that?
Sure. We can keep going. If no one calls for a quorum count, we keep going.
So that motion failed because we didn't have a quorum?
No.
Oh, we're just
It passes.
pretending. Okay.
It passes. I'll ask for town council to weigh in a little bit. If everybody just quiet down a little bit.
Mr. Moderator, very
Yes.
briefly, through you to
The body.
to the body, the quorum is different than the number of votes cast. They're completely different items. Unless someone calls the quorum, the meeting just proceeds, and that's completely legal. We don't know how many people are here. We only know how many people voted, which is Mr. Gito's point, and it's the correct one. And so unless someone calls the quorum, we have every legal right to proceed and keep moving through. If someone stands and calls it, someone stands and calls it, and we'll deal with that.
All right, so let's move on to top of page 63. Article 22, Halloran Park Walkway and Seating Area Project. Select Board Member Deborah Roberts, could I have the motion, please?
Yes, Mr. Moderator. That the town vote to appropriate and fund to design, permit, install, construct, and purchase capital improvement projects and items associated with Halloran Park walkway and seating area project, and to transfer $20,000 from free cash to fund this project.
Thank you very much. Is there a second? Seconded by Carolyn Campbell. Can I have the Finance Committee report, please?
The Finance Committee voted 10 to 3 to 1 to recommend approval of this article to town meeting.
Thank you very much. Can I have a Municipal Operations Committee report?
Municipal Operations voted 6 to 0 to approve and recommend to special town meeting Article 22 as written in the warrant.
Thank you very much. And
It's
can I have the
already-
presentation, please?
It's on already?
Can we have a very short presentation?
Yes, very short. Through you, Mr. Moderator, to town meeting. This is an enhancement. This is an enhancement of an existing area. And with that, Mark.
Thank you very much for your presentation.
You're welcome. We do want to show a picture because a lot of people didn't know exactly where in Halloran Park we were referencing. So it's a seating area. Mark, would you like to? Okay. There we go.
Are we okay? How you want to do this?
Well, this is. Okay, Mark, did you want to describe what they're looking at? This is the area in Halloran Park by the Jones School. Come on. And what they're doing, what Mark is demonstrating, it's zooming into the section of Halloran Park where there's a big rock, and usually people sit there and they have story reading, story time. They sit and meditate, but there is no specific seating area. So that's why this is an enhancement article.
We all set?
Yes.
Thank you very much for that presentation. All right, any technical questions?
Ed Quigley, Precinct 2, and I live near Halloran Park, so I just want to make sure where this is going. So it's between the playground and the pathway that goes to the Jones School where they park the buses. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay, good. I just don't want the kids to lose any playground or field space.
Okay, thank you both.
No.
Any other technical questions? Seeing none, pro and con debate. Seeing none. Thank you all for your assistance. All right, are we ready to vote? Simple majority. 1, 2, or 3. Vote now, please.
Thank you very much. Yay.
All right. Let me just announce the vote. 68 yes, 17 no, and 1 abstention. I declare that a vote. All right, we have 2 more. All right, let's keep moving. We have 2 more quick articles here. Article 23, petition article. Where's the petitioner? All right, please rise to the microphone, please. Identify yourself. We're on page 64, special town meeting article 23, zoning map amendment. Please identify yourself, please.
Juan Fox, Precinct 1. I'll promise to sit down right now if everybody votes yes. Let me say something. Let's see. Let me get some real quick.
We all set,
All right,
Juan?
you know, the Precinct 1 has been is in trouble with water and traffic. Or anybody who lives on the 139 Pleasant Street corridor, or in it, off of it. And we're struggling with the water pressure that forces us to make decisions whether we're going to wash clothes or take a shower at the same time. You can't do that. And with the traffic, we have to time a lot of times when we're going to leave our driveway. And a lot of folks out here know what I'm talking about on Pleasant Street. In the afternoon, school afternoons, many folks make a choice to choose to go a different route because it takes too long. So with that in mind, that was the reason why the traffic, anything to increase the traffic was anathema to the people in Precinct 1. So all the previous changes to RC was thwarted because they all came with like an apartment building, whatever, and we try to keep that from happening. Well, that worked so far until there's the multi-use issue. The multi-use building, the attack of the multi-use building. The multi-use building is, do you understand what it is? If you go downtown and you see a building there that has the stores in below and apartments above and jammed in between different buildings, that is a multi-use building, and that's expected to be that way. But we don't expect it to be in the middle of a neighborhood of single-family homes. But that's what happened. We have a project that was forced upon us, really, to be a building that had a small, insignificant retail space, and it was just to me it was a ploy just to get the apartment in there, 43-unit apartment building in there, and everybody was flipping out in the neighborhood about it. We fought very hard to get it to drop, but it turns out that the planning board's hands were tied. They had to approve it because that is approved for GB, multi-use. And so what we are doing now, and that's what we're stuck with right now. We're going to have that being constructed soon. And so now we have to deal with the possibility, because it's still GB, that another one of these things could be built there. And because we couldn't fight it, it could happen again. They could build it there, and we couldn't say boo about it. So that's where this is coming from. We're trying to change the zoning of the area, which is GB. And do you have would you happen to have the picture of the zone?
Yes. Oh, did he make the motion? Okay, can we have the motion one? I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry.
My bad. No. He can just say it's printed in the warrant.
Proposed motion that the town vote to approve SDM Article 23 as printed in the warrant.
Okay.
Okay.
Now. Wait a minute, hold on. Thank you very much for the second. Let me read the municipal regulations report. They voted 7-0-0 to approve and recommend the special town meeting Article 23 as written in the warrant. Do we have a planning board report anywhere? Mr. Bill Roth?
There he is.
The planning board held the required public hearing and public notice, and they voted 5-0 to support the article. And that's not the right map, Reggie. It's the Article 23 exhibit.
Thank you, Bill, for pointing that out. Appreciate that. And thank you for the planning board report. Go ahead, Juan. I apologize for interrupting your.
Well, if you can imagine, there's like a little postage stamp of GB in the midst of a sea of RC. RC is residential/commercial, residential single-family homes, and an occasional small store or something of that nature. And we have some of those already. That would turn into the RC that's all around it, which it was before it was changed there, the GB. Now, that would prevent another mixed-use building from getting stuffed in there and causing additional problems with our traffic and our water. And also to mention, for those who might have a question about the tax situation, all businesses that are there are grandfathered in, so there's no worry about somebody closing a business. And the main amount of property that was on the Hansons that Jeep was actually for is now owned by Grace Church, who doesn't pay taxes. So the change in this that has zero impact on their tax situation. So, any questions? No questions?
You all set, Warren?
Yes, I am.
Okay, thank you very much for your presentation. All right, time for technical questions. I see no one rising to the microphone. Pro and con debate. Please introduce yourself, Ben.
Ben Curry, Precinct 1. This is a great amendment. I highly suggest everyone vote for it. It's going to protect the integrity of these neighborhoods and close the loopholes that developers like to abuse. So please vote for this.
Thank you very much.
Justine Penny, Precinct 1. Stoughton's had a lot of great projects and progress. A lot of it's been in Precinct 1. We're just asking for a little bit of relief. Please vote yes. Thank you.
All right, I see no others rising to the
Moderator?
microphone.
Mr. Moderator?
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Cavey.
Yeah, I apologize. I do actually very much ask the people to vote in favor of this. This came before a special town meeting in 2018, and it failed. And I feel like a lot of the things that people were saying might happen have happened, and I definitely recommend that we not have this very residential area zone general business. Thank you.
Thank you very much for those comments, Mr. Cavey. All right, any other pro and con debate? Seeing none, hearing none. This requires a 2/3 vote of those present. Please vote now, 1, 2, or 3. And before you leave, I just want to tell you, we have one more article to do. Don't leave anybody, please. We're not going to open the doors for you. All right, the motion clearly passes by a 2/3 majority, 80 yes, 4 no, 0 abstentions. I declare that a vote. All right, so now we come to the final article of the evening. Turn to page 51, Special Town Meeting Article 7, Deposit to the General Stabilization Fund, right on the top of page 51. Carolyn Campbell, when you're ready, can I have the motion, please?
Thank you. Through you, Mr. Moderator, I move that the town vote to deposit $500,000 to the stabilization fund, and that to meet this appropriation, $500,000 be transferred from free cash.
Seconded by Becca Moxon. Thank you all. Can I have the Finance Committee report, please?
The Finance Committee voted 10 to 0 to 0 to recommend approval of this article to town meeting.
Thank you very much. And can we have the presentation, Heidi? Do you have a point of order? Yeah, can someone bring the microphone to Mr. Gito, please? Make it easier.
He's got a friendly amendment.
Okay.
I think in Article 15, there was $60,000 that didn't get approved that was free cash. And I'm just wondering whether or not that $60,000 could be added to this budget, this article. And if the Finance Committee would be happy to take that as a friendly amendment.
All right, is that the motion?
That would be, yes.
Okay. Do we have it in writing? I can.
No,
waive
it's
that.
not in writing.
All right, I'm just asking. Okay, I can accept that. Who seconded that, though? Seconded by George Stalinsky.
It was from
All right.
Fox System.
We have to discuss that.
It was hers.
We're going to have to do a brief discussion on that. Mr. Gito, a brief discussion. Any opposition to that? We can just vote it since the hour is late. Anybody for pro and con debate on that? Seeing none? Okay.
Thank you. We're not sure.
Identify yourself, please.
Hi, Carolyn Campbell, Precinct 4 Chair of the Finance Committee. We are not sure that it would be appropriate for us to take it as a friendly amendment because we did not consider this. This is money that's left over. Right now, it would sit in free cash. It could be available to be used at some point, whether in the fall. as of right, and I'm not sure, if people want to take it out of the free cash and add it into this, that's town meeting's prerogative. But I think,
Okay.
I would rather it to stay, I think, having it stay in free cash, because we haven't deliberated what to do with it.
Okay. All right, I'm told by town council that it's not a friendly amendment, it's just amendment on the floor. The body wants to vote it,
Yep,
they can vote it up or down.
yep, that's,
Okay. All right, so you heard from the finance committee, any other pro and con debate? Hearing none. Let's try a voice vote, all right, on the friendly amendment. Adding Mr. Gito's amendment, and that was to add $60,000 to this, was that 50?
60.
60.
60.
You have a slide? Okay, we have a slide ready to vote. Simple majority, right, for this amendment? Simple majority for this amendment. Please vote now. 1, 2,
Are
or
we
3.
voting on the amendment first?
This is just the amendment, yes.
Because it says both.
Is that the right? Stand by, everybody. I know we're kind of trying to move it along.
I know,
We'll
I know.
slow it down. I will slow this down.
Okay.
We're getting a little crazy this evening. Okay. All right. This is for Mr. Gito's amendment.
Mm-hmm.
Please stand by.
I mean,
If we're not ready, we can do voice. Will that come up? Okay, please vote now, 1, 2, or 3. This is for the amendment. No? Can we do it now? Please vote now, 1, 2, or 3, for Mr. Gito's amendment. So that will make it 560. Then we'll go back to the, well, it's going to be, if this passes, it failed. Okay, it failed. All right, let me just record that vote. 38, 41. All right, the amendment to Article 7 failed. The vote is 38 yes, 40 no, 1 abstention. All right, now we go back to Article 7 on the top of page 51. We had the motion, we had the Finance Committee report. Can we have the presentation, Heidi, please?
Mr. Moderator, members of town meeting, Article 7 proposes transferring $500,000 from our available free cash into the General Stabilization Fund. The current balance is $10,502,967. Is there any questions?
Okay, any technical questions? Seeing none, pro and con debate. Seeing none. Simple majority. You want a voice vote? All in favor of the... Excuse me? You have a point of order?
Yes, Mr. Moderator, Carmel Drews, Precinct 5. I request that we do have our votes tracked so that if anyone is interested in knowing how people voted on this article, they're able to access that information, which is not available if we do a voice vote.
All right, we'll set it up then. Point well taken. We're set. All right, everybody stand by. Please vote now. 1, 2, or 3. 1, 2, or 3. Simple majority.
Have a good summer.
Then I need, after this, I need a
I make
motion
a motion
to dissolve.
the special town meeting.
Okay, motion made by Carolyn, seconded by Becca. All in favor by voice vote, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Abstentions? The ayes have it. Thank you all for staying this evening and coming out tonight. Appreciate it. Everybody have a great summer. Have a good night. You're welcome.